Or it's like one of the last. We're on the second to last level. There's one more after this? Okay. Thank you, Blast. I love this game too. was that, does that count as sporting? She did it to herself. I think that's fair. I think that's fine. Making some clips. We need some clips. Honestly, like having the pre-stream clip rolls, it's like, yeah, some of these clips lately, a little slacking. Oh, got that. Another checkpoint. Oh no. Oh shit, wait, are we like almost done here? No, you blow it up! Blow the thing up! That's supposed to fall and he drops in! Damn it, I think we were at the end. That button on the wall should only take one shot, right? It should. It should. Fuck, okay. That's new. I've never seen that before. That was special. Here. You can always clip it. "15 minutes too late. Then I gotta play Rugrats Royal Aneurysm for another 15 minutes. Tommy the Dumb Pickle. You gotta say the GameCube is the GOAT. Well, I have news for you. The GameCube one is nothing to write home about. Don't replay the game, Tyler. You ruined your childhood." I'm dead. We are dying, yes. I can't swim. It is over. We killed ourselves. Otaku no Sisa, an adventure in the Otaku galaxy. It's quite the cover art there. Othello. You know, I've still never learned to play Othello. And I don't think I'm gonna start now. Outlanders. Imagine an RPG. What? Absolutely demolished. Straight up demolished.
Winner, blue.
Alright. Quick, get in shape. Alright. 5 and 5? Let's do it. We'll start with the jumping jacks. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I almost fell over on that last one. Okay. Little have to start skipping cutscenes though. Collect all the kids and get to Krusty Lou Studios before Krusty leaves.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Just gotta first try all this shit. Hey there, Fletcher. Welcome in.
Ooh, that's a breakdown.
Yo, what is up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Welcome in, everybody. How's it going, guys? Welcome in. Hopefully you're all doing well. Happy Monday, guys. Or as happy as a Monday can be, right? Hey there, Ninja. How's it going? Epic, good seeing you. Hey, Mindscan. White guy. Mansta. Welcome in. Mindscan talking about Drake and Josh. You know, when I added those letter emotes, the Xbox letter emotes, I didn't imagine I didn't imagine we'd be using them to say boob, but, you know. Hindsight's 2020. Hey there, S-Spock, welcome in. Yo, Dunk, welcome in. Good seeing you. Hopefully you're all doing well. So tonight, I figured we'd do something a little different. This is something I've seen other retro streamers do, but I've never... I don't know, maybe I just never thought I had the entertainment value to do it, or... I mean, we joke that I'm like a glorified just chatting stream, but for some reason, I feel like I always need a game going. So, tonight's gonna be a little different. I honestly, I'll be real with y'all. I just kind of wasn't in the mood to play anything. But I still wanted to stream. So I thought we could try this out. Obviously, I have quite a collection behind me. As a purveyor of video games. I've got quite a few games back there. I've played a good chunk of them. And so I thought tonight we could just basically do like a just chatting stream about retro video games in my collection and all of that. So I don't really have any plan. If nobody wants to see anything in particular, I was kind of thinking maybe we could just start with import PS1, but why is Yeti Sports such a cinematic masterpiece? How's it going, Cheeseburger? Welcome in. Yeti Sports, obviously the game of all games. No game compares. Dennis, can I talk a little bit about Vegas Tales? Well, I haven't played it yet. I'm gonna end up playing Terminator by the end of the night. No, I honestly, I'm just not, I don't know. I'm not burnt out on video games, don't get me wrong. But just like, I'm not feeling it tonight. It seems like a little too much effort. Hot tub stream with no hot tub. I'm disappointing everybody by doing like essentially a just chatting stream. I can't do it without a hot tub. We have those days. I figure, yeah, I mean, and honestly, most of the days where I don't feel like playing video games, I just don't stream, but like I still wanted to stream tonight, so I figured we tried something different here. Do I have any good game collections I can recommend playing, even though chat keeps talking about it and how I should play it? God damn it, Ninja. Kyle finally finished playing every video game. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Yo, Blast, welcome in. How's it going? No, you're all good, man. Welcome in. It's good seeing you. Early nights, we have those. I've joined the just chatting dark side. I mean, what is Twitch? Except for glorified just chatting streams. I did play some Supersonic Warriors. I actually really liked that game. I was actually quite surprised. And I don't know if impressed is the right word, but I really enjoyed my time with it. Where did all those rentable crate Blockbuster consoles go? What, the Blockbuster consoles that had the like the special foam inserts with the big like almost briefcases? Yeah, I don't know. Yo, hey there, Game Boy, welcome in. How's it going? My collection is 1 out of 10 because I don't have any Vita games. I'm sorry to disappoint, Mindscan. I know, I bought a PSP back in the day. I loved my PSP. And then I just never got a Vita. I don't know why. I'm part of the problem, I guess. I'm part of the reason the Vita failed. They probably got destroyed, Ruffian? I don't know about that. I've seen some online. I've seen some on eBay. I've seen some collectors that have them. So there's definitely still some out there. It's just a matter of... who... Yeah, I mean, some of them probably were destroyed, but I doubt all of them. Are you gonna ever see a different angle of my shelves? I mean, at one point I did have, like, a way to get my phone camera hooked up into OBS. I guess we could mess with that, but I wasn't really planning on doing that tonight. Hey there, Poker. Welcome in. I want my favorite racer or close. I get asked that so many times. Should we start with that? Is that what we're starting with? S-Pock, you didn't have a Vita either. Yeah, dude, we're part of the problem, man. We let Sony down. We let Sony down. 3 out of 10. I get 2 whole points for having shrink wrap balls. With that many games, I should have at least 1 cart of each console. I need at least 1 NES and SNES game. Well, I mean, I haven't bought any yet. I haven't come across any I want. The oldest game in my collection? Well, I don't have any 2600. That'd be an obvious answer if I had any. That's actually a good question. I'm trying to think of the oldest console I collect for. Man. Do I have anything like late 80s? It'd probably be something in my Genesis collection. Most likely. At this point. Found the N64 rental crate on eBay at they want $700. Jeez. I mean, at one point I did own some Atari games. I did have some 2600 games. There's a few that I want to get. It's just a matter of, like, you only have so much money and so little time and so many priorities in your collection. So I don't have any 2600 games at the moment. I used to. What's a game in my collection I enjoy, but I'm not very good at? Twisted Metal games? I mean, I just played Twisted Metal 2 the other night. I'm not amazing at those games. Yeah, off the top of my head. Something in my collection that I like, but I'm not very good at. Well, I can show an example of a newer game. NES games definitely had many instances of cover art, much better than the game. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Atari is probably infamous for that with the 2600. Good thing 2600 games are cheap because nobody wants it. Well, that's the other reason I don't have any 2600 games is because I don't really have too much of a desire to collect loose carts. I mean, I have... It's sitting right over there. I have the Retron 77 here. I can pull it out. I've got this bad boy, this Retron 77, which I hacked and has literally every 2600 game ever on it. So I really don't need to own the carts except for collection purposes. So that's really one of the reasons I haven't bought any 2600 games. Found a PS2 foam crate and case from Blockbuster for less than 100. It actually seems like probably not a bad deal for something like that. Pitfall 2, what about it? I still need to play the OG Pitfall. Everybody wants ET. I used to have a box copy of ET before I sold my collection. Amount of crank calls you got for Battletoads when you worked at GameStop, Cheeseburger? Since Twins is never gonna get licked ever again, I am not licking anything. What is with y'all and having me lick stuff? I don't know. Mega Man had an awesome cover, but then you play the game and you're like, what the heck is this crap? What are you talking about, Ruffian? Mega Man? Are you talking the OG Mega Man? Are you saying that cover art was good? Single game I'm most proud of owning. Damn, that's a hard question, actually. Yo, Lightning, welcome in. Have I played Hercules on PS1? I've tried it a couple times, and I just have not been able to get into it. Pitfall 2 is basically the predecessor for Super Mario Bros. 1. Came out 2 years before. You know, it's funny. I don't even know if I've really played Pitfall more than, like, the OG Pitfall more than a handful of minutes. I don't think I ever played it for very long. I have a couple Famicom games from around its launch in '83. Those are probably your oldest. Yeah, oldest game I own. It would probably be a Genesis game. It would probably be like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker or Castle of Illusion. Like the, here, I'll pull one out. I don't know, I would imagine my oldest Genesis games are like these classic, you know, the black back with the grid, like the basically the grid paper from the Master System, but reversed, right? Inverted colors. But yeah, I've got Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. I mean, this is one that I feel kind of lucky to have because it's pretty valuable. It's definitely up there. So, yeah, probably some of my Genesis games are some of my oldest in my collection, I would have to imagine. I'm trying to think if there's anything older, but I don't think so. Bonanza Brothers, this is another one. Really like this game. Dio didn't care for it. Dio, maybe we'll get to that. Is it a dating red flag if somebody wishes your chest hair was longer? How long have you known the person would be my follow-up. Pitfall 1's pretty linear. Pitfall 2 added the underworld. You know, it's funny. I bought that Retron 77 thinking like, oh, I'll stream more Atari, and it just hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened. I don't know. I get the vibe that most people are not that interested. Can I add a dating advice card? I don't think I'm one to give out advice like that, but... Moonwalker's an acid trip of a movie. I kind of forget that Moonwalker had a film. I've never seen it. The old Genesis grid covers. It's funny, the majority of the games in my Genesis collection are the grid cover games. I've only got 2 of the late release games that have like the red, almost like the closest thing I could describe would be like a barbershop, one of those barbershop signs, you know, like they look like a candy cane. These ones. Y'all know what I'm talking about. These late release Genesis games with like the red, like it literally looks like one of those barbershop signs. But yeah, these are like the only 2 in my Genesis collection that have that. I don't have many late release Genesis games. Complete in the box. How long could somebody have known your whole life? It would still be weird, Blast. I agree. That's a little strange. Tari's for a different older crowd than my stream, which is weird because everybody here is old as fuck. That's a generalization. No, I think one of the beauties of our community is we've got all age ranges. I mean, anywhere from like, you know, teens to 40s and beyond, which I think is cool. I don't think you see that much diversity in other categories on Twitch. Used to like the Moonwalker film when you were a kid. I should watch it someday. Still waiting for Joe Pesci to return to his rap career? What? Joe Pesci had a rap career? Mod boxing match? Well, we still have to do the Dio Kyle mud wrestling, right? Streamer shoutout card. That one 3rd place Twinsanity player, what was his name? Wow, Ninja. Savage. Seriously though, go follow Dio. Dio's a lovely streamer. I don't say that just because I'm biased. I mean, I am biased, but I'm still gonna say it anyway. Hey there, Horse. How's it going? Do I gotta show Bubsy 3D? Have I not shown it enough? Horse with the Rip Steakhouse. How's it going, Horse? I did actually have Taco Bell last night. Yo, the Bacon Club Chalupa, that shit is really good. So good. Joe Pesci did release an album at one point. I didn't know that was the thing. I was aware of... I don't know if saying Bruce Willis's music career was cringe. I've listened to some of it. He can kind of sing. I thought the dude was fine, personally. First half of Moonwalker was a big showcase of MJ's life. And then the second half is the one with the plot. Wait, what? So the movie's like split in half? That's so weird. That's so strange. Punch-Out set best of Dio's choice. I don't think anybody should play Dio in Punch-Out. I think Dio's a little cracked. Waiting for the obligatory Kyle, when are you finishing Punch-Out on Wii? You had 3 of them? What, the Bacon Club Chalupas? You had 3 of them? I said it, not you. I mean, I was just saying what you were thinking, right? I've known you long enough to know what to expect. First part of the movie is just music videos, really. Other half is cracked out movie. When will I do Punch-Out blindfolded? I'm not good enough at Punch-Out with my eyes open. With all the shame, but man, did the shame taste divine. Yeah, 3 Bacon Club Chalupas is a lot. It's funny because I was, you know, I was eating after stream and Trashy comes in. He's like, yo, you want to get Taco Bell? And I was like mid pasta. So I'm like, you know what? I'll go. I'll get one little item. Ninja, all you know is you're always down for fight. Well, I expect as much. I expect as much. Mike Tyson's Lunch Out. Now that would be a spin-off game to end all spin-off games. I don't know. Is there anything anybody... Oh, there was game that I own that I like that I'm not good at. I mean, there's a handful of those. More than a handful, to be honest. I'll show this one, because... Yeah, we'll show this one. Why not? Let's see. We'll show a modern game, even though we're in retro. But this is the Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series on PS5. And unfortunately, this might be... Not that I'm too worried about numbers, but this might have been like one of the biggest missteps in my my stream plans in the last, I don't know, 6-8 months. I don't remember exactly when we played this. But it's funny because I had already beaten Klonoa 1 and 2, and I like both games a lot. They're lovely 2.5D platformers. And for some reason, when I threw this on, not only was just the stream kind of slow and disappointing, but also I was just playing really poorly. And we got to like the last, I think like the second to last level in Klonoa, and I went for like 7 hours, and I was just like, I was struggling really hard. So I didn't finish Klonoa 1. I still love the series a lot, but I think this was also streamed a lot. I think a lot of people in our community and the broader retro community have seen a lot of this, so I think for that reason it was also kind of a misstep too. And I'm not particularly good at these games. So.
Oh, right.
Right. Kyle's bad at platformers, right. But yeah, still love these games. Just, I'm worse at them than I'd like to be. But this is a great collection, by the way. If you have any interest, if you've never played Klonoa, gotta pick this up. If you like Klonoa, you probably already have it, I would imagine. What genre of game do I think I'm the best at? Easily racing games. No question. Get ready for some action. Who's Tino?
Mirror's Edge OSD in the background door.
Thank you for the 23 months, man. Thank you for the resub. Is it Mirror's Edge? I just got like a relaxing, atmospheric video game compilation. I did great when I played Klonoa. I think you're thinking of the original stream when I played the OG version. I don't think you're talking about when I played the PS5 version. I was struggling. And I didn't end up finishing the game. Yet nobody streamed the Pac-Man World remake. Well, I do have. Ninja sent me that. That's actually a game I do need to get around to. Yeah, kart racer's easily my best genre in terms of like my natural skill. What retro game have I played that the retro community overhyped and I played it and I was like, this actually sucks? Leave it to Rick to come in with a negative question. I don't know if I've had too many of those experiences, actually. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, usually, I avoid, like, uber mega popular. I mean, we've talked about this in the last couple streams. Like, I tend to avoid uber popular games because I'm worried that they're overhyped. So I don't usually end up playing a lot of, like, the biggest of the big. Because I'm like, there's no way they're going to live up to the expectation. Right? Didn't know I played that version, Blast. So I did well on the original. Yeah, I don't know. It was just, the PS5 version was kicking my ass. Which was unfortunate, because I love the game. It wasn't the best stream. But you vote OG Tomb Raider? I mean, at the end of the day, I still liked that experience. I didn't think... I don't necessarily think they're overhyped. I think a lot of people at this point, especially now in 2023, I think a lot of people are quick to acknowledge the fact that those games are not perfect. Ninja with the custom OST. I guess that is fair play. Top-down Fallout for which you still regret? Yeah, that would... Well, I don't own... Well, actually, I do have the anthology. It's, like, buried back there, though. I can't get to it. That might be one, actually. Don't think I liked Einhander? No, I liked Einhander. I don't know where you got that presumption. No, I dug Einhander. No, the reason maybe I seemed a little sour because we were initially playing the US version, which has limited continues. And if you ask me, that game should not have limited continues. So we ended up switching over to the Japanese version because that one allows you to keep going. Yeah, no, there was... Well, I don't necessarily know how much of it was people weren't into it or just, like, a couple people were being really loud about not being into it. I think that happens sometimes. When I was a smaller streamer back then, I mean, I'm still a small streamer, but... You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't... If there's, like, 15 people in a stream and, like, 3 people are being actively loud about not liking a game, it's kind of hard to ignore that. You know, and those are the people being active. It was from a place of love. Nobody should stream OG Fallout in this atmosphere. Yeah, it's just too slow compared to what I normally play. Are we talking about Urban Rain? No, we're talking the OG Fallout. Why would we be talking about Urban Rain? I had basically forgotten about Urban Rain. I'm not gonna lie. Urban Rain's not bad, but I have no intention of ever completing it. I've pretty much decided. Played Fallout 1, not the most exciting game to watch. Yeah, I don't think so. Unfortunately. Hey there, Fox. Welcome in. Tell Mindscan to stop hitting you. I don't know. Maybe we could go through some... I don't know. The negative questions, guys. I like to talk about things I'm passionate about and that I like. I don't try to actively seek out games I'm not that into. Maybe we'll go through my Japanese PS1 collection, just for the hell of it. Get the whole stack. Sour Skittles, not as sour as you remember. Thank you for sharing, Horace. Okay, so I've got a stack of import PS1 games here. What kart racer should get a sequel that didn't? Only pick one. I mean, technically, like I was about to say Motor Tune Grand Prix, but technically the one we all play is the sequel. There's a Japanese original. I'd say out of all of the kart racers I've played, probably Speed Punks. We just played that the other day. As far as I know, there's only one game that ever existed for that series. I think it deserves a sequel. What Switch game, not that one, has been sent in that I want to get to but haven't yet? That's actually a solid question. There's a few. There's a few, actually. There's also a few PS4 games I'd like to get to. Some people can make slow games seem exciting, but it really requires a certain type of streamer. Well, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like our streams are so based on the chat anyway that the game is kind of secondary. So it really threw me for a loop when people were like, man, this game sucks. I don't want to watch it. I'm like, I don't think the game here matters that much, but maybe I'm mistaken. Running Wild? I don't know if Running Wild would need a sequel. And we kind of got a spiritual sequel for Running Wild with Mad Dash Racing on OG Xbox. Do I have any video game OSTs I'm particularly fond of? I literally only have one. It's the Police Not soundtrack, but it's absolutely lovely. It's a great soundtrack. Actually, let me show this one. I'll get to the Switch game here in a second. But yeah, here's my Police Knots soundtrack, vinyl soundtrack. On white vinyl, I believe this is a double disc. But lovely soundtrack. I haven't even played the game, but the soundtrack's so damn good. And I saw this in a shop, a local shop, and they wanted 30 bucks. Which at the time, I remember hemming and hawing about maybe getting this or not. I'm glad I did, because it's worth like double that now. So, I don't think it's in print. This is a data disc. This is the only data disc I own. I would love to get more, but they're definitely kind of expensive, so I haven't picked up any more. And I haven't been spinning vinyl that much recently, so it's hard to justify the cost sometimes, but yeah, no, this is a solid soundtrack. Urban Rain seconded. Everybody's hating on Urban Rain. I mean, I can't necessarily blame everybody, but... A game like that is just very, very repetitive. Very repetitive. Did people actually tell me they didn't want to watch something as I'm playing it? That happens on occasion. Urban Rain, well, Urban Rain, it wasn't even that people didn't say they didn't want to watch it. It was just like the chat was like going a million miles an hour in like 50 different directions, which tells me they weren't that interested in the game, but yeah, I don't know. Don't have another game in mind that didn't get a sequel. Not a big racing game fan, video gamer. You're here and you're not a big video game racing fan? How does that even happen? Darkside does have a good soundtrack. Speed Racer on Wii. I played the PS2 version. That's a solid game. Is Police Knots? It's the most requested out of print data disc, really. Hemming and hawing. What did I say? You know what I meant. Bought the Octopath Traveler OST on vinyl? Nice. Chat was nuclear. Oh yeah, legit. Ruffian doesn't even play games. Ruffian's not even into retro games. He just likes hanging out here. Okay, so Switch game that I would like to get to. There's a few. All right. I picked out 3 here. Obviously, Pac-Man World Repack. Ninja was gracious enough to send this one in. I do want to get to it. Part of me has hesitated, though, because I remember sampling the PS1 version. And again, I was having trouble with it. For some reason, me and 90s platformers, sometimes we get along, sometimes we don't. So, I just want to be in a particular mood when I play this. I want to give myself the best chance of enjoying it. So I haven't gotten around to it yet. Another one that was sent in. This was sent in from Games a Lot. This is a game called Gal Metal. And I don't know very much about it. But it's got this, like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got this really lovely foil cover art. So not only is it a cool collectible physical game, but I don't know a lot about the game, but it actually looks quite intriguing. So someday we'll get to this. I'm intentionally not looking up too much on it, so I'm just surprised. And then lastly, I bought this game. This is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. Complete edition. Never played this. I still haven't gotten around to it. I bought this because I think at one point Matt and I were talking about maybe doing a co-stream on this, and it never came to fruition. So I still haven't gotten around to it. I've heard it's great. I need to play it someday here, but just haven't managed to make the time for it. Daytona did get a sequel, exclusive to arcade though. I didn't realize there was a second Daytona. The Sonic racing games with the cars. I do have Team Sonic Racing on Switch. I actually streamed that, and I think we beat it in one night. I actually really like that game. Even though Team Sonic Racing isn't considered nearly as good as, like, Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, I really liked it. It worked for me. Ruffian, you have the Scott Pilgrim game installed on your PS3 and you've never played it still. You know, that's the beauty of being a game collector, game player. Backlog just continues to grow. And then we replay games that we like, and meanwhile, we've got games that are sitting there that we've never played. Played Scott like December of last year? November, December? Yeah, it's available digitally as well, so you don't have to spring for the limited run. Although this limited run was not actually that limited. It got printed pretty heavily, and this one has not gone up in value too much. But Ninja, you own 3 copies. I think it's safe to say Ninja's a bit of a fan. Played it on PS3 back in the day. Haven't played it since the re-release. Still got it on your PS3. Nice. 360 Switch PC. This 360 version never came out physically, right? That was just digital. Happy the game's back. Castle Crashers, nice. Yeah, no, I love Castle Crashers, actually. I imagine a lot of people wouldn't know that because I've never played it or really talked about it, but it's a fun one. Burnout games, while not really being racing games, I mean, I'd consider them racing games. I mean, they're kind of a mix between racing and vehicular combat. 3 of them for like $10 on some Best Buy clearance thing. You bought 5 of them, Mindscan? Mindscan's holding on to some. He's investing over here. I did pull out my import PS1 collection, so I figured we could go through these. Paradise is a great game. Burnout Paradise. The one thing that has kind of soured Burnout Paradise for me is the fact that EA released the remastered version, which is fine, you know, absolutely fine. Good remaster for the most part. But even the PC version got like a remastered version, even though like it doesn't really do anything you couldn't already do in the original. And the reason it annoys me is because they shut down the servers for the original. So you had to, like, they forced you to double dip. They forced you to buy the remake if you wanted to play online still. So I thought that was kind of lame. It's EA being modern EA, but PC versions of Paradise and Paradise Remastered are broken right now. Even the remaster's broken. Remastered. The song playing in the background. This is Animal Crossing. Ninja requested this one. 7 p.m. It's from New Leaf. Tried playing it the other day. It just doesn't work. That sucks. DLC was removed for the original, but added them to the remaster for free. Which, like, I guess is, like, an okay consolation. But again, it's like, I had the original Burnout Paradise on PC. It could already run in HD. But, like, they forced you to rebuy it because they shut the servers down for the original. Dennis, you've been playing on console instead. That's like classic EA, I swear. Okay, we're gonna go through my import PS1 collection, just for the hell of it. I've played the vast majority of these on stream. And I've beat most of them, actually, too. We're gonna start with a Retro Bear favorite. We got Expert on PS1. This is actually a really good FPS. I guess this would fall under the game, like, a game that I like that I'm not amazingly good at. This was a hell of a game. Great Japanese exclusive FPS on the console. Very difficult. There were definitely some moments where I thought about quitting the game. But we managed to get through it. We beat the game. It is very good. I would recommend it. If you're into FPSs at all, it definitely made an impact on me, for sure. Yeah, no, 100%. Lovely import game. Manual almost literally flew out there. But yeah, I would recommend this one. If you're looking for FPSs on the PS1, there's not, like, a ton of them. I mean, there's games like Alien Trilogy. There's, Disruptor. Power Slave. There's some good ones. I would say this is honestly up there. You know, PS1 version of Doom. There's some decent FPSs. And if you can get around the controls... I don't think I'd include PO'd in my list of, like, good ones. PO'd is on the PS1. If you want it. This one is... Man. Talk about games that made an impact on me. We got Cosmic Race. This, I believe, was a launch game for the PS1 in Japan. And as you can imagine from the title, it's a racing game. But it is like the most whack, janky, just absolutely ridiculous, cheap racing game I think I may have ever played. It's got a really awkward control scheme. It uses the face buttons for part of your steering, to give you an idea. Just absolutely ridiculous. And I believe we found out that this uses like all pre-made assets from like the PS1 dev kit. Like it just straight up uses textures and stuff. So absolutely a ridiculous game. It's very cheap. It's not worth a whole lot, but not a lot of people know about it. And I believe I did upload my playthrough, like an edited playthrough, onto my YouTube channel. I believe it's the only full game playthrough of this game anywhere on the internet. I would wager a guess. I am one of like less than a dozen people that has probably bothered to finish this game. But yeah, Cosmic Race. Really weird game. Grabbing the ISO. I'd say it's worth a shot. If you like weird janky games, give it a try. Monica, what a well-crafted masterpiece. Oh yeah, obviously. Cosmic Rays. Well-crafted masterpiece. Here's another one. Damn, these are all... I have stories for all these. King of Bowling. This is one we played on a roulette stream. And I figured out a way to consistently get strikes. I could literally strike out every turn. I could get a strike every roll. And so I could get a 300 game in this. This might be the only bowling game that I know that I've played where I can get a 300. And so I straight up like did the speed run with, you know on roulette streams I normally give myself a half hour. We did the speed run of this within the half hour of the roulette timer. So kind of proud on that one. So I've got some fond memories of this one. It's not a good bowl. I mean, it's a fine bowling game. It's serviceable. And I'm sure there's other bowling games on the PS1 that are more interesting, but just for how easy it is and how I managed to cheese it, I'm fond of it. How much am I willing to pay for Muppet Monster Adventure? Not much. Not much. I'm honestly trying to save money more than anything right now. Well, I should mention, I do have a sub goal set up. I had an idea for a really fun stream. If you guys remember, one time in the past, we did shop on Surugaya, and I bought like, you know, $200 something worth of items. It was mostly Saturn stuff. But I've essentially played all my Saturn stuff. Like, I've beat almost every game on there. I think except for Mr. Bones, I've beat every game that I own. So I've been thinking about getting more Saturn games and also importing some other stuff. But I'm saving up for that right now. Because my plan is to do another import shopping stream where we get a whole bunch of stuff. Because honestly, it makes way more sense to get the import stuff. Some of that stuff is just so ridiculously cheap. I could get so many games for my $1. It's insane. Dunk, are we on the internet right now? I mean, I don't know how else you're here. Unless you've materialized or something. Wanted that black PS1 dev kit so bad as a kid, Mindscan. Yeah, the black PS, it's a cool looking console. How's it going, Duck? Welcome in. Mr. Bones is a cool game. That's another one I'm trash at, but it's a unique game. It's got a cool concept. A lot of different play styles too. This is another Japanese import I got. I actually bought this from a US seller on eBay. They had a sealed copy of this. This is called, what's it called? Oh Bakun, I believe is how you pronounce it. Lovely thing about PS1 import games is a lot of time on one side they'll have the English title. But yeah, this is a sealed copy. This came out in Europe as well. It was known, I believe, as Ghoul Panic or Ghost Panic. I think it's Ghoul Panic. But we played Ghoul Panic. We played the PAL version. I really liked it. We beat the game. Really fun light gun shooter. And I managed to grab this sealed copy for kind of a steal. So I might keep it sealed. I don't have a light gun yet, so I'm not like dying to play it and crack this one open. I don't think it's worth like a ton of money. I should get a Namco gun con at some point. And like a little like CRT or something so I can play some of these the way they were meant to be played. But this is it's a fun light gun shooter. It's not like I wouldn't call it an essential light gun shooter, but I like the genre enough, and I liked this game enough that I went and picked it up. You've played it before, Game Boy? Yeah, no, it's a fun one. Ghost Trees with the Streamloots pack. Let me grab you that. Of course, I closed the tab. We got another Japanese import here. This is called King of Crusher. I played this based off of Camel's recommendation, Pale Blue Camel. Shoutouts to Pale Blue Camel, by the way. Leader of my stream team. And has given me some great recommendations. There's another import PS1 game that we'll get to here that he also recommended and is like one of my favorite games of all time. So he and I tend to enjoy a lot of the same kind of janky stuff. And this is an absolute, I dare I say, must play on the import PS1. If you like janky, just fucking whack video games, this is an essential. Absolutely essential. We did a full playthrough of this on stream. I'll probably play it again on stream at some point. This one was so fun. So I highly recommend this one. I don't want to say too much because some of this game just has to be seen to be believed. I don't even know how I'd really describe it. It's kind of a... Without spoiling too much, I'd say like a kaiju simulator, if that gives you an idea. I don't want to say too much more, because it'll spoil too much. Which one of my collections is most important to me? Easily PS1. It's my biggest... Well, I shouldn't say easily. I'd say my OG Xbox collection over there is also pretty important to me. But I'd say number one, definitely my PS1 set. Between the imports and the domestic stuff and the few long boxes I have right there, it's easily my favorite collection. It's the collection that's most important to me. It's got the most games I could just pick up and play at a moment's notice. So for all those reasons, I'd say PS1. Yeah, if you haven't seen King of Crusher or you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. Keep thinking people are saying OGX box. Wait, what? Oh, OGX and then box? Yeah, no. You're checking for NES CIB games on eBay? There's quite a few game show games for 30 or less. Gotta have me them game show games. Yo, hey there, Johnny. How's it going? Welcome in. How's it going? Love how much PS1 and 2 have shaped me as a streamer. It's kind of insane. Because in my younger years, I didn't even own a PS2 until like decently into my collecting journey. So it is kind of funny how much I've latched onto them. I think they're just so great from a streaming, like what I strive to do on my streams. I think PS1 and 2 really fit the bill a lot of the time. Yo, Kreb, welcome in. How's it going? Good seeing you, man. You don't know Jack? Those are fun games. I dig those. Oh, this is an import game I'll never play again. This is Iwatabi Penguin Rocky X Hopper 2. This is like a really poor man's Mario Party. It's a minigame compilation. I played it once. There was this like concentration game where you had to match audio. And it sucked. Terrible. This is the ultimate chill sesh. Yeah, I needed a chill stream tonight. I still wanted to stream, but I wasn't really in the mood to play anything. So I decided we'd try something new tonight. Blast, that makes you happy considering how those shaped your childhood especially. Yeah, no, it's funny how much I've latched onto them. And I think a lot of people love those systems. And, you know, like, I still love the OG Xbox, but, I mean, we've talked about why I don't stream OG Xbox a ton. Especially roulette streams for it. Because there's just a lot of... We started to get into the era of the way too long tutorial. And I was also spoiled, I think, playing OG Xbox. You know, with PS1, I am willing to really dive deep into the jank, and a lot of those games are fun, even if they're not that good. With Xbox, I feel like a lot of the games that aren't that good are just boring, or they're just not interesting, or, you know, stuff of that nature. And I don't know, it kind of makes me sad, especially when, as a kid, I felt like most of my Xbox games were, like, top tier. It's kind of weird to go back and play a console that you loved as a kid, and you get all these, like, jank, mediocre, kind of just not interesting games. Hey there, Iker, how's it going? Welcome in. Just thinking how Xbox is not my favorite console. I mean, it's not my favorite to stream. I'm very nostalgic for the OG Xbox. But I think when I do Xbox Roulette, I'm just... I don't know, it's weird. It's like I'm seeing a part of my childhood I was kind of blind to. Because like I said, I managed to get mostly pretty good games for the OG Xbox back when I was younger. Games like Kung Fu Chaos. Games like the Halo series. Voodoo Vince. You know, just Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. You know, games that I thought were really, really good, and then I go and play roulette, and it's like some of these games are fucking trash, and they're not even good trash. They're not even fun, interesting trash. They're just sad husks of games. See, Wii U, but I've never actually streamed Wii U. That's not true. I streamed all of Wind Waker on Wii U. But I think that was it. I think that might be the only Wii U game I've ever streamed. I don't stream a lot of Wii U. I only own like 8 games for the console. I don't have very many. Wii U was a mistake. Wii U's fine. A lot of people Wii U's have been breaking? Mine still works. I mean, I used it for the Wii Wii. Imagine having an Xbox as a child. I'm not trying to make anyone feel old. You were playing Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck's a great game. All right, let's get through some more of the import PS1. This is one that came out in the US. This was known in the US as Monster Rancher Hopperbout. Obviously, spin-off of the Monster Rancher series. In Japan, it's known as Monster Farm. So the US, or I guess you could say the English title for this one is Monster Farm Jump. Really fun game. Nothing like Monster Rancher or Monster Farm. This is a arcade, I guess a pogo stick game. I mean, it's kind of a platformer, I guess you could say, but you're on this pogo stick and there's all these different tiles, and a lot of them have like effect squares that do different things. It's a little hard to describe if you've never seen it, but it's just a crazy, zany, arcadey kind of get from one end to the other. Basically, it's like, can pogo stick video games be its own genre? I mean, I think this is like the world's only pogo stick game. So, really enjoy this one. Like not quite like DuckTales. Although DuckTales is great. Speaking of DuckTales and Wii U, I do have DuckTales Remastered on Wii U. That was like one of my only good Goodwill finds. I got DuckTales Remastered for like $5. And it's like a $30 or $40 game. Yo, D-Hat, welcome in. So bad it barely got off the ground at all. Virtual Boy. Poor Virtual Boy. I don't own my Virtual Boy anymore. If I get the opportunity, I might have to pick one back up. But the small discs is one of the reasons people love collecting GameCube. It's different and unique. I mean, I guess if you like disc rot. Sorry, that was uncalled for. Hey there, Digerum, welcome in. You can make a pogo stick in Boy and His Blob, can you now? You can hold the disc folders? What? Virtual Boy still blamed for your terrible Vision Game Boy? It's all Nintendo's fault. You should seek legal compensation, right? That's how that works? Oh, the binders. Okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I guess disc folder, disc accordion. What you're hearing is we need more pogo stick games, Nate. Yes. Yes. Gotta listen to that System of a Down song while playing. Oh, of course. Another great game, Night Striker. I've streamed this one a couple times. Absolutely lovely game by Taito. I would compare this to like a Space Harrier. But instead of a futuristic dude floating around, you're a futuristic hovercraft that also can turn into a mech. Awesome game. Pretty short game. You can beat it pretty quick, but it kind of functions like Outrun in that there are different branching paths. So there's a whole bunch of different routes you can take. Really enjoyable game. Great graphics. Really like this one. Not necessarily like a graphical powerhouse for the PlayStation. It probably reminds a lot of people more of like a 16-bit game than a 32-bit game, but I still really like this one. Cheap import. It's also on Saturn, but it's crazy expensive on Saturn. It's too expensive on Saturn. Whereas this one cost me like $15. I have heard that GameCube games have a higher rate of disc rot than other consoles. So that's just like incidental information that I've gotten, that I've heard. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I've heard. I think mostly only Sega CD, 3DO, and Saturn are that susceptible to disc rot. I've heard people with GameCube games that have had rotted discs. I've heard it enough that it can't be that uncommon. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I think disc rot in general it's a concern, but I think people worry about it a little too much. Like, look at how many disc-based games I have back there. Most of my games play absolutely just... almost every single one plays just fine. Wii U has both the disc and the RAM rotting now? The RAM rots? This is news to me. Reminds you of how if F-Zero and Space Harrier had a baby. I can kind of see that with Night Striker. Yeah, I could see that. A little bit. It's overblown. I think it's unfortunately one of the side effects of us all being connected on the internet nowadays. I feel like a lot of things get overblown. It's like one, you know, an example I would use is like those supercuts of like when people get a new console on launch and like their console's having issues, and like there might be a supercut of like 20 people with like an Xbox One with a loud disk drive right out of the box, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's unfortunate, but 20 people out of how many hundreds of thousands of units got shipped? You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy for the internet to get a little over worried about certain things. One of Wii U's chips is yeeting itself for a lot of people. Yeah, that's no good. I mean, I used mine literally, what, 2-3 months ago, for the week of Wii, and then I've played a game or two since then on my Wii U, and it seems to be just fine. Where's the supercut of all the working game consoles? There is none, Tart, because it would be 1 million hours long. That's precisely what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, we see a supercut of like 20 consoles that don't work on launch, and it's like, man, this console's got so many issues. The quality control is trash. And it's like, that might be like 0.25% of consoles that aren't working right. Where in the history of humanity have we ever made a big deal out of statistically unlikely things? Oh, never, Nate, never. Video game, your Wii U still works fine. Yeah, I imagine it's another issue where, you know, if it's happening to people, it's unfortunate, but it's probably not going to happen to everybody, I would have to imagine. Jaguar CD, that's a console we can talk about, where the failure rate is crazy high. From what I've heard online, most Jaguar CDs don't work. Like, actually more than half. See, that's an actual proper hardware issue. Hope it holds out long enough to play the small handful of exclusives. Well, when you buy a console, you hope to keep it for, especially if you're a lifelong gamer. You hope the console will stay alive. I mean, obviously things fail, but as long as it can be serviced and repaired, you know, you hope it serves you for most of your life. Oh, this is another good import PS1 game. This also did come out in the US. This is the Pink Panther Pinkadelic Pursuit. Say that 5 times fast. Really fun 2.5D platformer that came out like way at the tail end of the PS1's life cycle. Because of that, the US version is like over $100. It's really uncommon and commands quite a premium. But Mindscan actually got this one for me and sent it to me. I don't think this one was that expensive. I think you can get this version for like 25, 30 bucks, which is obviously a steal compared to the US version. Really fun 2.5D platformer. I would recommend it. Check it out if you can. Find a way to play it. Hey there, Vincent. Welcome in. The Pink Panther. What's funny about the Pink Panther? It's a great game. It really is. Like, I'm not a huge Pink Panther fan, but I can't deny that game is fantastic. Another great game. I love this one. This is called Rockin' Riders. This is like a cross between a snowboarding game and not quite a rhythm game, but it very heavily emphasizes the music. And you're actually going down slopes against like a rival gang, and you're trying to pick up instruments. Instruments not only add to your score, but when you get an instrument, it adds instrumentation to the music that is playing. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome game. This one's really uncommon. It's not super expensive. You can usually find this for like a bit of a deal. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, but it like never comes up on eBay. Never. Rarely ever. It took me months to find this one listing. So keep an eye out for this one. If you're into import PS1, to me, this is an essential. It's a lot of fun. It's not a super long game, but like I said, it's just really unique and creative. Every time I go back to it, though, it's like there's a bit of a learning curve because I like kind of forget how to play it. It's not the most straightforward and intuitive, but once you get into it, it's a lot of fun. And there is a deluxe version that I've seen on eBay once or twice that has like a bonus music disc. Because this actually features, I forget the name of the group, but it features like a pretty prominent Japanese group of the era. So kind of neat for that fact too. Pink Panther was pretty big in Europe. Oh, was it? Yeah, I mean, I remember, I don't know how big Pink Panther was. I mean, I was probably kind of past that series prime, but even I had, like, discs of, like, the old cartoons, old DVDs of the cartoons. You haven't seen that one, Ruffian? Play it, please. I've played it twice on stream already. I'll probably play it again in the future. It's a solid game. Yeah, man, my import collection is lean and mean here. We got Running High. This game's awesome. This is a on-foot racer. One of only 2 that I'm aware of on the PS1. This and Running Wild. This is awesome. This is like if you've seen Running Wild, I've played it recently. If you've seen that, this plays very similarly. There's a bit more emphasis on like drifting. And obviously you're in these like futuristic mech suits instead of animal characters. Awesome soundtrack, lovely visuals, really satisfying gameplay. It's got a bit of a learning curve, but it's really satisfying once you get into it. And it's not too expensive either. Do they all do PCP before they're... Tart, you are like the second dozen person to make that joke. Jay, you were more of a Looney Tunes guy. I mean, Looney Tunes, Pink Panther. A lot of those cartoons are just phenomenal. Pink Panther's your favorite live-action comedy series about a pink jewel called The Pink Panther. Because we all know there's so many of those, Ruffian. I don't think we'll ever get a re-release of Running High. I think it's probably too obscure to be worth it to re-release it. I don't know. I would love to be wrong, though. It'd be awesome to get a new one. Got your Sinden light gun in? A lot of tinkering. Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of calibrating that has to go into that. Hopefully you get it working and it works out for you. Oh, this is another one Mindscan sent me. Basically for free. I wasn't expecting this one. This is Virtual Bowling. I have not played it yet. Just heads up. I have not played it. But import PS1 bowling game. I don't know if it'll compare to King of Bowling for me. But yeah. I've got like, what, less than 2 dozen PS1 import games and 2 of them are bowling games. Kind of funny. Love a running collection of sorts. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, maybe I'll do a stream of... I mean, really, there's only 4 on-foot racers I can think of off the top of my head. Running High, Running Wild, Mad Dash Racing, Sonic R. Are there any others that y'all know of? Those are the only ones I think I'm aware of. Unless I'm forgetting one. Be cool to get a bunch of games set up for it. That would be awesome, Kreb. I would love to see you come back to streaming. This is Virtual Hero no Ken. This is one I picked up on Surgaya because this is a prequel to Flying Dragon on N64, which was like one of my favorites during the N64 shuffle. Unfortunately, this does not have Robohana, which was a bummer. Not a great fighting game. Not a bad fighting game, but certainly not a great fighting game either. I think I paid like $15-20 for this when I imported a whole bunch of stuff. Not bad, but not phenomenal by any means either. Feels like Sony could just put that on the store. Yeah, you'd think, right? There's so many games that could just get like a simple like, hey, let's throw it on PSN. And for some reason they don't. I don't know. I don't know how they decide what goes on there and what doesn't. Iridium Runners? I've never even heard of that one. That's an on-foot racing game? Oh, yeah, Rayman Rush on PS1. Yeah, Rayman Arena has an on-foot racing segment that got basically like backported to PS1. Just the on-foot racing parts became its own game. Yeah, I played Rayman Rush. Shows you how memorable that one was. Because I literally played it to completion and I forgot about it. Micromaniacs, true. That one's not, that one's like more of like a Micro Machines almost. But I guess technically it's an on-foot racer. I wasn't huge on that one. Hey there, Digerm. Do Olympics games count as on-foot racers? I would say those are sports games. Iridium Runners. I may have to check this one out. Summer games on Commodore. I've heard some of those like summer winter games are pretty good on the old Commodore. Okay, what do we got next? Oh, this is one I actually just straight up have not played yet. I must have bought this from an eBay seller that had a bunch of import stuff, and I just literally included it in the cart because it was like a couple bucks. And it was cheap. This is like something... I don't remember the whole title. They don't even show the English on one side. It's just Japanese on both sides. They didn't bother to translate it. I think it translates loosely to like WGP Hyperheat or something like that. Have not played this one. Partially because I'm worried it might have too many menus for me to be able to get through it. But maybe one day we'll throw it on and just try it. I think this was like a couple bucks. I basically got it for free. It was like nothing. Pen Triicelon on Dreamcast. I have not played that one. Yeah, I am aware of it. Someday I want to try that one. Have Rayman Rush. You don't play it much, S-Poc. Yeah, I mean, it's fine for what it is. I might pick it back up one of these days. Rayman's been reduced to Rabbids now. Yeah, it's kind of a sad state of the series. Got the Rayman 4 prototype recently? Did that get dumped? Hyper Beats? Yeah, no, it does say Hyperheat. I like how we say, oh, it roughly translates to that. No, it literally says that on the back, on the front cover. It was dumped. For what console? What could have been? Rayman's just fucking dead, honestly. Rabbids is where their IP is. It's honestly sad. PC. Okay. Only got dumped for PC? Oh, this is another game we've played. This is Wild Boater. This one's really unique. This is the only that I know. Well, I shouldn't say the only. We've played a couple other, like, boat racing games. This is basically like a kayaking simulator / racer. We played this. I found this through PS1 Roulette. Loved it enough. I saw this sealed copy on eBay for a decent price. For what, like, all the open copies were asking. So I picked this one up. Decent game. I'll get back to this one day. This one was fun. I remember it being pretty enjoyable. Kind of tough. Kind of tough toward the end. It's not a super long game. There's only a handful of stages. But... yeah, no, there's only 3 stages. Not a lot of content, but they make up for it with difficulty. Cool game, though. As far as I know, I'm the only person on Twitch that streamed it. I've never seen another streamer play that one. Rayman Legends was a good comeback. Yeah, but that was like in 2013 now, right? It's been like almost a decade. It's been a long time. They made some auto runners on iPad and then gave up. Some Rayman auto runners, that's all we got. It's unfortunate. Okay, and then the last 3 import PS1 games I have here are Simple Series games. And they're all really, well, I'd say these next 2 are really good ones. The last one, not so hot. We got the Sniper. I absolutely love this game. This is the closest I think the PS1 has, like, to a film noir feeling game. As evident from the series it's in, the Simple series. Not super high budget, pretty simple gameplay, but it's essentially like a sniping simulator. And a lot of the missions you only get 1 shot, so you have to make sure, gotta make sure your aim's pretty good and not waste your shot. But pretty fun game. I really enjoy it. I've played it a couple times on stream. Would recommend this one. Very cheap game still. And we've also got The Maze as part of the Simple series. This one's even cheaper than the Sniper, I think. I think some people have become aware of the Sniper. I feel like this one is slept on. This is arguably one of my favorite Simple series games, and like nobody talks about it. As the title would suggest, it takes place in mazes. It's like basically a 1v1 PvP brawler. And the goal is to get to the exit. You need 3 keys to get to the exit. Your opponent starts with 1 of your keys. So you are forced into combat at least a little bit. And I don't know, it's just such an enjoyable game. Even against the AI, I bet it would be 10 times more fun against a friend. Really recommend this one if you can find a copy or play it, however you need to play it. It's worth a look. Pro Wrestling 1 and 2 are the only Simple series games you have. Yeah, there's an insane amount of Simple series games. I don't think I'll ever go for a full set because a lot of the stuff just honestly isn't that interesting, to be real with y'all. But there's some cool stuff here and there hidden among the kind of the quick, easy cash grab games. And my last import PS1, well, standard jewel case size one. I've got a few of the fatter jewel cases. I'll show you guys. This is Simple Series 2000, which I don't think there were many 2000 series games on the PS1. 2000 was more of a PS2 series, so I don't know why this is part of the Simple 2000. But this is Volume 3, and this is Kamen Rider: The Bike Race. Why do they name all their games the kanji? I don't know. I don't know why they like the word the. I'm not sure. That's actually a really good question. Why is the in English and then everything else is kanji? It beats me. I legit don't know. But yeah, this is Kamen Rider: The Bike Race. I think I accidentally got this for free. And by accidentally, I mean like the seller sent it and it didn't show up for like 3 months and they refunded me and then it showed up. Kind of one of those situations. But yeah, kind of glad I didn't pay much for this or any for this because it's literally, this is another game. It's only like 3 stages and it's done. You can beat it in like 15 minutes. Maybe one day I'll try to speedrun this. I don't even know if this has a page on speedrun.com. Love when that happens, Minds Can. I mean, I feel kind of bad. You know, it's not like I'm not trying to swindle anybody, but it's like, you know, you message an eBay seller, you're like, yo, where's this game? It's been like 3 months. Where is it? And then they just automatically refund you. And then by the time it arrives, it's like, you don't even remember who the seller was. The order is removed from your page because it got refunded. So it's like, even if you wanted to pay them, you can't. So it's kind of weird. Don't feel bad for Best Buy. I feel a little bad for eBay sellers that probably have to take the hit. Yeah, now I'm kind of curious. Does Kamen Rider: The Bike Race have... It probably doesn't even have a page on speedrun.com. I don't know. I personally don't look at it that way. I think if I'm buying something, you know, I intend to pay somebody for the item. The Kamen Rider: The Bike Race does have a speedrun page, and there's 2 runs. Let me show this real quick. 2 runners. So, worst case scenario, I get 3rd place. I've been thinking, I had an idea last night about doing just like casual stupid speedruns of games I already own. This would be a good contender. This would be a really good contender. Because like I said, worst case scenario, even if I don't have a great time, automatic 3rd. Auntie, not if you sneak into 1st. Don't you dare. Hey there, Casper. Welcome in. Do I know Murdo Inc? I don't believe so. That could be a new chat competition game. I'm like, anybody's gonna run this. It's such a stupid game. I was just gonna do it for fun. If anybody wants to join me, that'd be great. But I don't expect it. I'm doubting you. I'm not doubting anybody. I'm just being realistic. Most of the games I've run, nobody else bothers. It's facts. It's just facts. Okay, I do have a few more import games. Got a few more here. These 4, for some reason, I shouldn't say a couple, but like a portion of the PS1 import library comes in these fatter cases. I don't know how they decide which games come in what cases, but these are the ones I got. You like to let me have the top spot. I think it's more like nobody else would play some of the crap that I play. Yeah, these are the thick box ones. We got Ghost in the Shell. This did get a US release, but it was so much cheaper to get the import, and you really don't need to know any Japanese to be able to play this. So I figured I'd pick up the import version because it was like way cheaper. And the cover art's honestly better if you ask me. Really cool game. This is kind of a mech third-person shooter. Slightly platforming adventure game. Pretty cool. You love the huge cases? I mean, I honestly... When I think of these cases, I think more of Europe, because at least in Europe it made sense, right? Because usually the manuals were thicker because they had multiple languages. So I would understand why they would need like a thicker jewel case. But I don't know why they got them in Japan. I'm not entirely sure. This one's got the Obi and everything though. I think this was another one that showed up like super late, and so the guy refunded me, and then By the time it showed up, I didn't even remember who I bought it from. So I think I may have gotten this one for free. Again, not that I'm trying to swindle anybody. But when a game doesn't show up for 3 months, you're like, what's going on? And a lot of times, all you'll do is like, yo, can I get a tracking update? And they just send you money back. I'm like, okay. Weird. We also got Motor Tune Grand Prix. This is the original Motor Tune Grand Prix. The one that we got in the US is technically Motor Tune Grand Prix 2. This is the Japan-only original game. A lot of fun. I've been meaning to come back to this one because the speedrun for this, there's a couple runners that have overtaken me, and I could probably get this record back if I really wanted to, without like a ton of effort. So, lovely game though. Much more simplistic than the sequel, but really charming. Lovely art style. Definitely recommend this one if you're into import PS1. Kind of want a PAL Dreamcast game just because the cases are cool. Yeah, the blue cases, like the thick blue cases, are pretty neat. Mindscan, you sucked at it? Did you play on normal? That would probably be why. I recommend starting that game on easy. Even on normal, I have trouble with that game. We got 2 more games here. This is one of my favorite games on the entire PlayStation 1. This is not Treasure Hunter. The best way I would describe this game, if you've never seen it, is like a choose-your-own-adventure book, if it was a 3D video game. Yeah, this one is a little sun-faded. This is a sealed copy, though. Yeah, we got a sealed copy. Unfortunately, I can hear the disc inside. So, I've been meaning to open it up one day, because I think the disc is probably a little rattled. But, love this game. Like I said, it's like a choose-your-own-adventure book if it was in video game form, and it is lovely. I got like 35 of the endings. Apparently, this game has 50 endings. I literally got 35 of them. I love this game. This was one that Pale Blue Camel suggested to me, and I'm so glad he did, because this game it's become one of my favorites. Yo, Sinful, how's it going? You're fine. Welcome in. Hopefully you're doing well. And my last import PS1 game in my collection, Snowboard Kids Plus. Little known fact, the N64 Snowboard Kids series, actually, the first game came out in Japan only on the PS1. And it's much more affordable than trying to get, like, complete in-box versions of the N64 games. So, I went with this one. Graphically, it's not nearly as nice as the N64 version. I think it's a little easier than the N64, though, because I actually managed to beat this version. I never fully completed the N64 version. But, you flipped yours, Mindscan? Need to get it again. Leave it to Mindscan to flip a game you actually wanted. Oh, you made like 25 bucks? Fair enough. Only in this chat do people apologize for being late. I think, yeah, I don't know why it's become normal here. Nobody's got to apologize. The worst Snowboard Kids game, Ruffian. I would say 2 is better. 2 is the better game. I think the PS1 version of the first one's fine. It serves its purpose. I like it. Naming your product Plus. They truly were ahead of the curve, right? Yeah, actually. It's such a Canadian thing that my chat is infested. That's what it is, Blast. What about the DS one? I was gonna say, I think that's the worst Snowboard Kids. I think most people would say that one is by far the worst one. Everybody forgets about it because they want to forget about it. Auntie, we're not talking about Gex. I can't talk about it because I can't show it. I don't own any Gex games. So checkmate. But I don't know. Is there anything else anybody would like to see or anything you'd like to discuss? That's pretty much my whole import PS1 collection. I don't necessarily want to pull everything off the shelves, but there was a DS Snowboard Kids, and from all accounts, it's not worth playing. At least that's what I've heard. What was that other game's title? Not Treasure Hunter. So Treasure Hunter, but not. Mindscan wants to see 3DO. We could do 3DO. Blast, you have a bit of a recommendation. If I'm interested. Okay. NES, I'm gonna disappoint you, Mindscan. I don't own a single NES game. What's the best deal I've gotten on a game? Cheapest price paid to relative value now. There's a few games that have gone up. Most of them are gonna be like Genesis. I just showed Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. The problem with my Genesis and Sega CD stuff is I bought it so long ago, I legit don't remember what I paid for it. But probably the biggest increase in value is probably, I think there's one game. I think the biggest uptick in value is probably the Terminator. I don't remember what I paid for this, but it was like, I think I got it in a lot. So I couldn't even quite tell you what I did pay. I would have to imagine less than 20 bucks. Again, I don't remember. This is so long ago, I straight up just don't remember. It wasn't a lot of money. But now this game is worth anywhere between $150 to $200 in this condition, complete in the box. And we recently beat this one in the last month or two. Lovely game. This is an exclusive version of the Terminator. This version of the game came out on no other system. It's got a soundtrack by Tommy Tallarico. It's just a dope 2D action platforming shooter, and great game. It's one of those games that's valuable and rare, or I guess uncommon. That's actually really, 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 really good. So, yeah, that is probably the game that has shot up the most in value. It's probably also my most expensive video game acquisition. There's a couple 3DO games complete in the box that are worth a lot of money, but I kind of paid up for those because I only got into collecting that recently. So, a soundtrack by somebody that worked for Tommy Tallarico, probably. Is that true, Nate? He had, like, ghost composers? I was not aware of that. Would I ever want to play Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, specifically the DS one? I haven't given that thought, but I'm not necessarily opposed. I don't do a lot of DS though, because I feel like a lot of those games are awkward to stream, especially if you don't have like a DS capture setup. If you're using like an emulator, I don't know, something about like using the mouse as the stylus seems wrong. Tallarico's pretty well known for taking credit for shit he didn't do. I should have known mentioning Tallarico's name was a bad idea. He's like a bad omen at this point. It's unfortunate, because I think he actually did. He's got some talent when it comes to composing, but how dare I not think about Shattered Dimensions on DS every day? I'm sorry to disappoint. That's a kick-ass Terminator game. Say, Kyle, what's your exact location? Also, when are you leaving town? I live in Zimbabwe. It's funny you mentioned that because I'm going on vacation for a week starting tomorrow. So, yeah, there you go. Shattered Dimensions on SD on DS. I wonder if that was intentional. But yeah, this is probably my most valuable game. Probably the most a game that I own has appreciated in value. I'm never selling this, though. I like the game too much. I like the Terminator franchise, obviously, a lot. Been getting into the TCG. Love the movies. This game's awesome. So, definitely not getting rid of this anytime soon. What song is this? This is... What is this? We just got more Animal Crossing because I never switched it. Hold on. Let's go back to my atmospheric music. Ninja just got like 30 minutes worth of Animal Crossing. If I had a complete copy of Valkyrie Profile on PS1, I could buy a house right now? Really, Game Boy? Valkyrie Profile goes for that much? I'm gonna look. Song was goofy. Welcome to Animal Crossing OST. It's supposed to make you feel good. Oh. Just a cool price of $306.20. Okay. Yeah, just a little. Worth a little bit of money. Just a little bit. Mine's game, you could probably buy a small house if you sold your Vita collection. Wow, that's cheap, Blast. Cheap, quote unquote. Video gamer, you bought a copy of Valkyrie Profile off eBay ages ago. I'm assuming you paid nowhere near that. Blast, do you like to think you know your Spidey games? Cough Neversoft. Still the best. Still the GOAT. I know a lot of people like Spider-Man too, but to me, Neversoft Spidey 1 is still the GOAT. You can get it on PS4 or 5 for 20 bucks. That's pretty amazing that the physical PS1 version still holds a value of over $300 when there's a digital for like 20 bucks. It's kind of crazy. Which Shazam extended to video game music as well? I feel like there's a lot of potential with Shazam, and it's just its library is limited, which is unfortunate. Own Valkyrie Profile, willing to trade for house. I was gonna say, any house you can get for 300 bucks, well, you can buy a tent for that, maybe. Is there anything else anybody would like to see? I mean, I could always, oh, Mindscan mentioned 3DO. Let's do 3DO. Of course, Mindscan shows like the most awkward collection to try and showcase, but I'm gonna try here. I'm gonna have to grab them just a few at a time. Obviously, we got Balls the Director's Cut. Y'all have seen this like a million times. I really do like this game though. Really intriguing, early 3D fighting game. I don't know. It's a personal favorite. What can I say? And this copy is sealed. So hard to argue with that. I got this from my local store, actually. This was, if you guys know Double Jump Video Games, if you know Cooper from Double Jump Video Games, the owner. This was, I think, from his personal collection at one point. So, it's kind of cool. Balls 2 is the best. Sequel. There's a sequel. I think the video game market pricing definitely doesn't help specific versions either. Like some NTSC, Japanese, or PAL versions are way more expensive than the others. Yeah, it's really a game-by-game basis. I'd say in general, if a game is released everywhere, a lot of times the US version's the most expensive. Especially games where text is involved, dude. The disparity between a US copy and a Japanese copy can be... I mean, a Japanese copy can be like 10% of the value of a US version. It's kind of crazy. Luckily, a lot of the games I like, there's no language barrier, and a lot of times the games are cheaper anyway, which really, to me, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because it's the same damn game. I mean, I guess you gotta buy, like in the case of PlayStation 1 or 2, you have to buy that region console, but... Yeah, and there might be speedrun reasons as to why one version's preferred. That's true. Every time you enter the 3DO Balls main menu, you cringe. You cringe with joy, of course, Mindscan, right? This is a game I have never played, actually. This is Burning Soldier. I only picked it up because it was, like, reasonable price for a sealed long box 3DO game. I believe this is an FMV shooter. I would like to play it someday here. I don't think it's a very long game, so I'll probably try it someday here. But it's one of those games I haven't gotten around to. Unfortunately, one side is a little creased. Yeah, the light's hitting it. You can kind of tell. Other side's fine, though. So I always display this side because it doesn't have the crease on it. But, yeah. Hard to argue with, like, a sealed 3DO game. I know, a 3DO game I haven't played. For whatever reason, I just haven't gotten around to this one. Also, another sealed game that I've never really played. I don't think I'll ever... I mean, maybe I'll stream this one day. But this is Sid Meier's CPU Bach. This isn't really a game, it's more of a software. It's essentially a music composer. It's like an AI, well, I shouldn't say AI, but it like procedurally generates like Bach sounding compositions. But it was like 20 bucks on eBay, sealed brand new. Like, how could I not pick it up? You know? Being the 3DO fan I am. And I get to joke about it with Blasto all the time. Yeah, I was gonna say, you said Valkyrie Profile might have a greatest hits. I'm not sure about that. It's no Burning Rangers. It'll do. Epic going to bed. Have a good night, Epic. Thank you for being here, as always. We've got, guys, an absolute banger of a classic. We got Demolition Man here. I mean, what more needs to be said about this game? This is one of the greatest games of all time. Not just on the 3DO, but in general. You want to talk about games that others should speedrun? If Ninja, if you're still here, if there's one game that I was hoping people would latch onto, it was this game. I literally run the leaderboard for this. You don't even need to own a 3DO. You could run it on emulator. Download an emulator, download the game, run the fucking game, get a score on the board, get a time on the board. So I don't have to be the only one sitting in the corner. This game's awesome. I don't know why nobody else has run it. The only reason I can think is like nobody has a 3DO. But like I would totally be willing to allow emulator runs, no problem. So that honestly active call out for anybody that wants to run an obscure game. Here you go, Demolition Man. Come on, it's great. It's great. If it's the greatest of all time, why is there no sequel? Check and mate. Jay, that's a contradictory statement. If it's the greatest game of all time, it doesn't need a sequel. It could never be topped. Why would they bother with a sequel? That's your checkmate. Beat it on easy, it was fun. Mindscan, you should play it through again. Now that you know how to play. Just get through it. Submit your time. No problem. Wonder if it works with the... it does work with the gun. The American Laser Games gun. I do not know if it works with the mouse. I don't have the 3DO mouse, unfortunately. Cheeseburger, gonna grab it for your Steam Deck? Please do. And if you can, record a run. Submit it on speedrun.com. I'll allow it. Next, I'll tell you... I can't say how to use the 3 shells because that's not for me to disclose, Knight. Next up, we got Creature Shock. This was a stream. I don't know if I'll ever come back to this. Maybe someday. This is by Argonaut. I bought this because I like a lot of their stuff. Also, this cover just looked super intriguing. I mean, right? Like, it's just such... It's such a statement, this long box. But this is... A lot of this game's on rails. It uses a lot of FMV. I can't say I recommend it. It feels like a game made during the mid-90s. You know, it feels like a game made during the 93, 94, 95 era where developers were still trying to figure out how to make games with FMV sequences that still felt like games. This one arguably doesn't feel like a whole much of a game, but I should run it back. It might have a better revisit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe someday here. I'm not quick to get back to it, but the game also gets really hard toward the end, and I seem to recall the part that broke me was the fact that, like, we got to the end of a stage, and then, of course, like so many sci-fi games, it's such a trope in the sci-fi genre to be like, oh, you got the objective complete. Now you got to exit the stage and you're on a time limit. And if you don't make it out in time, you're dead and you have to do the whole stage over again. I seem to recall that's why we dropped this. But yeah. Yeah, and some asshole gave me flack for not finishing it, even though I played it for 5 hours straight. And gotten a kerfuffle with me. So that was fun. Box art looks like Whiplash on Xbox? Maybe if you squinted real hard, I could maybe kind of see it. What a cover, right? Looks like a cover of one of those fantasy yeah, it does kind of remind me of like a fantasy novel cover a little bit. We got Cyberdillo. I did not pay for this one. This is one that my friend Stage 1 Boss sent to me because he knew I love me some 3DO. And he was getting rid of his collection. He didn't want any of this stuff. So he sent me this and a few other games we're going to see. This might be one of the worst games I've ever played. This is an FPS. It is absolutely atrocious. Potty humor galore. Gross graphics. Sluggish gameplay. It's a better meme than anything else. It's unfortunately not too fun to play. Fucking shit game. I was trying to use slightly nicer words. But I'm not gonna disagree with Mindscan. I need to play Whiplash. I own the Xbox version. I did rent it back in the day. That was actually one of the first games I think I played where I found a glitch just playing it normally. You know, because when you're a kid, you think like, oh man, these Xbox games, like, man, there's so much work that goes into them. You know, you think like every game is like a masterpiece because they all just blow your mind. And I think Whiplash was like one of the first games I ever played as a kid where I was like, I actually found a glitch and I did something that wasn't intended. Like I broke part of the game. I think it was like one of my first, I think Whiplash actually was like one of my first experiences like breaking a game. So kind of cool for that reason. Let me get these 3DO boxes back on the shelf and then I'll pull out some more. Okay. Kreb, thank you for buying a pack. I hope you get some good cards in there. What was the atrocious 2D shooter platformer with the mole that oozed trash? Maniac Mole? Maniac Miner? Something like that? I know the one you're talking about. Cyberdillo made you sad, Mindscan. Same. If that was the first... Let's say if I had gotten a 3DO back in the day with Cyberdillo, I probably would have sworn off video gaming. Yeah, that game was awful. How's it going, Lehman? Welcome in. Okay, next up in the 3DO set, we've got Escape from Monster Manor. This game's actually really cool. I sampled it on stream once. I dropped it pretty quick because it was just... I don't know. Kind of slow night. This wasn't doing any favors, but it does look like a cool FPS game. It's by EA, it's by Studio 3DO, published by EA. Decent little FPS, one of the better ones on the system. I do have one other FPS on here that is pretty good, but unfortunately the frame rate kind of kills it. But yeah, Escape from Monster Manor is pretty cool. Did I see the Streamloots giveaway? I saw something about it. I don't know. I'm honestly kind of annoyed with Streamloots. With like last night it lagging so nobody could really play or buy anything. And then what else has been going on with them lately? They just like no coupons and like the last like when was the last time Streamloots themselves actually offered a coupon? It seemed like they were pumping them out for a while. And then there's been nothing. And a lot of their announcements are just stupid stuff. I've kind of just stopped. Like, obviously, we still use the service. I'm grateful for it. It makes me streaming every day actually viable. But their announcements and stuff, I've kind of been ignoring at this point. Next up, we got FIFA International Soccer. I own this because I got in a lot with a couple games I wanted for a really good price. So this was just kind of included with the lot. But, interesting fact about FIFA, probably the most interesting thing about it. I mean, it's FIFA. But there's actually two versions of the disc. There's like this silver front-faced version, and then there's also like a green one. For some reason, this was a game that got like reprinted, and they changed the disc artwork. So there's technically two versions of this game. Why I know that? I'm a fucking nerd. I don't know. Maybe I should get on them about that, Mr. Streamloots. Well, I don't know any of the people that work there, you know? They haven't reached out to me or anything. Other than I applied for partner and they, you know, they allowed me to be onboarded. Hey there, Mo. How's it going? Welcome in. I'm doing well. We're just doing some collection talk. Hopefully having a good Monday. So no super sidekicks. Played John Madden Football. Well, it's funny you should mention that. Because I do have John Madden Football on 3DO. I gotta say, really, you know, I'm not a big sports game fan, but man, these 3DO long box sports games just like look really classy. They just look lovely. But obviously these aren't like the most desirable 3DO titles. Maybe one day I'll throw this on though. I don't know, I love the way EA approached these long boxes. They look so professional and just like truly electronic. Back when electronic arts meant fucking electronic arts, you know? It feels like a work of art. It's lovely. But yeah, haven't played it. I'm sure it's probably a really good version of Madden. I've also got Guardian War. I know, I'm showing a bunch of stuff that like you wouldn't think I'd play. And, well, you'd be right, because I haven't played this one. But this is Guardian War. This is one of only 2 RPGs on the US 3DO. This is the affordable one of the 2. The other one's Lucine's Quest, and is, like, absurdly expensive. I'll probably never own it. But, yeah, Guardian War. Matt did a full playthrough of this, actually. And it seemed like he liked it, so I might give this actually a go one day. I'll be that guy. Everybody's like, Kyle never plays RPGs, and then I'll play one, and of course, it's like a 3DO RPG. You know, that's what I'll do. Kyle has sports game? I have a few, actually. Don't tell anybody, though, Green. Never beat Splatterhouse? I've never beat a Splatterhouse game, either. I've sampled a couple of them. They're lovely games. Only know of Lucine's Quest thanks to Pete. Yeah. Yeah, I think Pete streamed it, actually. Kreb, most of the sports games are from you. That's probably actually true. I ended up I got some sports games in an OG Xbox lot that I ended up just trading to my local game store because I'm like, I'm literally never going to play these. These will never go into my console. And even if I did want to play them, my OG Xbox is modded anyway. Why do I need to own them? Doesn't make sense. If you ever walked into my room, the first thing you do is pull around in my gaming chair with the random handles. What do you mean random handles? It's an armrest. Most chairs have armrests, Screen. TurboGrafx 16. I have the PC Engine Mini. That's a console I haven't really explored much. There's some great games on there, though. Look on the back of the chair. Oh, these. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Those, I'm not sure why those are there. I guess it's so you can, there's a little, like, headrest. Like a little cushion. I guess it helps it stay in place. Anyone else remember the old chair? I don't think anybody remembers the old chair except for me. I don't know, you guys never saw it. Because it's like a low back, like, dining room chair. With a pillow on it. I don't recommend that, by the way. For anybody that's looking to stream, get a proper chair. Don't be cheap. I know it's easy to be cheap, but like, don't do it. Your back will thank you. Yeah, just use a proper chair, guys, if you're gonna sit for hours on end. Next one I got here, guys. Jurassic Park Interactive. I bought this one from Double Jump as well. This is one of my favorite 3DO games. Not even joking. Stupid video game. It's basically a mini game comp, but I absolutely love it. And this is a not for resale version, which is kind of cool. Absolutely adore this game. I really do. I'm like not even exaggerating. It's like my favorite kind of jank. Super fun.
Now I've seen 2 masterpieces of suspension. The Golden Gate Bridge and
that bra. Kyle's quote of the day, don't be poor, just make money. Listen, if you can't afford a chair, you probably can't afford a PC and a streaming setup. Okay, Green? And trust me, I don't care how much money you have, if you're gonna sit all day, get a chair. Because you can't replace your back. You'll pay way more in medical bills with a fucked up back than you will paying for like an $80 chair. Trust me, it's worth it. Okay. We also got Killing Time on 3DO. This is a game that I actually, when I got my 3DO, before I started streaming, I beat this game. Like, right when I got my 3DO. This was like one of the first games I got for it. I sat down, I fully completed this game somehow. I'm still not quite sure how I did it. Because it is an FPS. But man, the frame rate on this is really unfortunate. It takes a good game and makes it a little rough to play. I'll be honest. I I've sampled it on stream. I've pretty much, the frame rate's so bad I've decided not to stream it just because it's a slideshow sometimes. Ear reveal blast. You gotta pay for that. I don't do that for free. You'll invest in the stock market, Jay? I'm just saying, like, for any streamer, I made the mistake of streaming for a long time without a proper chair. I really do recommend, if you're gonna seriously consider streaming. Anyway. Used to play Dragon's Lair on 3DO. I've never played the 3DO version of Dragon's Lair. I thought about getting it, but I now have the Switch Dragon's Lair trilogy, so I don't know. Trying to play like Dragon's Lair or Space Ace on 3DO, probably not even the best way to play it nowadays. So, didn't have 2 years ago, Blast. Listen, I gotta appeal to my strengths, you know. All right, let's grab some more games. Like I said, Mindscan asked for like the most awkward collection to try and showcase here. Yeah, investing is, I've been watching some videos on investments. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. I recently, my hair is it's ridiculously long. And I like just washed it, so it's like extra fluffy today. Nah, you're fine, Mindscan. I like showing these games, you know, it's a collection I'm like legitimately kind of proud of, so I'm glad I get to showcase it. It's just, it is kind of hard to like get in and off of the shelf. When am I planning on playing more Street Fighter? Like on the well, Blast, don't you know the joke about Ninja getting me Street Fighter 30th on Switch and I still haven't played it? Street Fighter 30th win? It'll happen. It'll happen. The dream of being rich. But I was going to say, I actually recently put some money into, you guys should look into certificate of deposits. If you got money that's like sitting somewhere, like in a checking account. I'm not a professional investor, but one of the easiest things you can do is put money into a CD, certificate of deposit. And you get like, I'm going to get like over 4% on money that literally just has to sit there for like 11 months. It's crazy. Bought a Nintendo Mini that has 600 games on it, Arcady? You got like a hacked NES Classic? Or Super Nintendo Classic? Invest in NFTs. That's obviously what I said, Nate. Love having long hair. I feel weird without long hair. I've gotten my hair cut very short in various points of my life, and it never feels right. Like, I at least need, like, medium length hair. This is the longest my hair has ever been, but I tend to go like medium length or even longer. Hey there, Remmels. How's it going? CD was scratched when you got it back, Remmels. Your bank shouldn't do that to you. That's not very nice of them. Okay, next up we got another great game. We got Need for Speed, also EA. The first Need for Speed. This is where it started, guys. Need for Speed was initially intended to be a 3DO. I was going to say exclusive. It was 3DO first, I believe. Obviously, later came to the PlayStation, got known for being on the PlayStation, but it started here. This is a really good first entry. I really like this game. Some people say it's called Need for Speed because it's a little slow. It is a little slower than some of the later entries, but I still think, I mean, it showed they knew where they were going with this. Are all 3DO game boxes that long? I have one 3DO game from Japan that isn't like this. But yeah, in the US, all games came in these long boxes. There's actually different styles of long box. So this is like a snapper case design. So it's like partially plastic, but the artwork is like this cardstock, and then you have this snapper on the end that like clasps into place. And then you got games like Pebble Beach Golf Links, which is just like all cardboard, and then like inside there's like a standard jewel case that we're familiar with. But yeah, this is my sealed, not for resale Pebble Beach Golf Links. This is like 10 bucks. Super cheap. Golf games on 3DO are actually really cool and a lot of fun. Lots of FMVs, lots of like course overviews, cheesy cheesy soundtracks, digitized characters. I don't know, they're fun. There's a better golf game on 3DO that'll be toward the end of my collection, but Pebble Beach is pretty good. They make a Ring King too? I'm not aware, I can't say. This is actually taller than a VHS. This is like a full 12 inches tall. It's ridiculous. But it's part of kind of the appeal to me of 3DO Longboxes, the fact they are so tall. This is another one that Stage 1 Boss sent to me. This is Quarantine on 3DO. This is a kind of a futuristic taxi cab simulator slash shooter. It's post-apocalyptic. So you're going around and just massacring people while also driving customers to destinations. It sounds awesome. Unfortunately, the actual execution is not great. I feel like this game had a lot of potential and it was kind of squandered a bit by the actual execution of it, but still like having it. I don't play it a whole lot, but the concept's really neat. It's also a cool collectible. Lovely cover art. I just love like the windshield wiper wiping off all the blood. I don't know. Really cool. It's like very basic design, but it's so effective. I love it. Tried to play that Wicked 18 on your last 3DO stream. Didn't really get it. Couldn't even tell where. I think I saw some of that Mindscape. I was a little sad that you didn't love it, but it can be kind of a tilting game. Those older early 3D golf games do not hold your hand like at all. So I feel you there. It can be a little tough. Next up, I got Return Fire Maps of Death. This is an expansion to the base game Return Fire. I don't have the base game. Essentially how it works is you need a save file from the original to boot this one up. I do have the original game on my ODE, so I do have a save file, so I can't play this. I do need to get the original here at some point, but this is the Maps of Death expansion, and as you can tell, this is a sealed copy. It is, like, bowed in, though. I don't know how well you can tell, but, like, the entire front. I think the shrink wrap is kind of clenched around it, and it's kind of getting suffocated, but the sides look good. I'm going to keep it as is. It's a little unfortunate the front's not looking too hot, but what can you do? Great games. I love these. These are essentially, I don't know how I'd describe these. Like real-time, I guess real-time strategy, kind of a capture the flag scenario where you control a bunch of units, try to get a flag from the enemy base, bring it back to yours. A lot of fun. Really, really great. A lot of people seem to like the Saturn Pebble Beach, yeah. Actually, I think it might mostly be Mario Twitch. Singing the praises of that one. Crazy Golf on PS2, your favorite golf game that I've played. Freaking Crazy Golf. Oh, what a stream, what a stream. Next up, we got an absolute essential. Road Rash 3DO. I don't know, if you ask me, I was going to say if you need to own one game on the 3DO, this would be it. That might be a bold claim, but I think it might be true. There's a couple other good ones I got coming up, but this one's phenomenal. In fact, the next 3 games are just all bangers. I love this version of Road Rash. This game single-handedly sold me on the 3DO. For those that don't know, the version of Road Rash that eventually appeared on like PS1 and Saturn came from this one. This was the original version. Awesome. Awesome game. Genesis Road Rash games are great too, but this one kicks so much ass. Absolutely love it. Can't recommend it enough. Great vehicular combat / racing game. What more is there to say? Great soundtrack. Like, come on. Do I have the Capcom fighting controller? I would love to get one. I don't have one yet. Actually, speaking of, we're gonna get to that soon. I'll talk more about it here in a moment. Didn't realize I had that many sealed 3DO games. I mean, I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got six sealed games. Which I guess, when considering my long box collection is only like 20 games, 6 is a pretty good ratio of that. All right, I'm gonna get these back on the shelf and get the last handful. Okay. Yeah, here. We'll talk about Capcom in a second, because I got a game coming up. But before that, we got Soccer Kid. This is a platformer that I think initially came out like on computers, the Amiga, for one. There's a Super Nintendo version in the US known as, I think, The Adventures of Kid Cleats, I believe is the title. I gotta say, Soccer Kid has a bit better ring to it. But this is one of my prized 3DO possessions. This long box is like minty shape. I just love the artwork on it. But yeah, this is a platformer where you're a kid with a soccer ball and you use the soccer ball as essentially a weapon. And it's really unique. It's got some good physics. Admittedly, if you do play this, there is a button to respawn the ball, and it took me a while to figure that out. I thought once you lose the ball, that's it. You just don't get it back. There is a respawn ball button. But you soccer... Wow, Trey. What are you, Dino? Dino hates the look of Soccer Kid. I don't know. This poor kid, you know, he's born this way. He can't help it. This is how he looks. It's Glover, but good. Blast, I never thought about it that way. But yes, that's exactly what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep it, mint. I honestly own these for collection purposes. I just love 3DO. Can't help that he's a freak. This poor fucking kid. Getting roasted over here. I feel bad. You know what? I sympathize with Soccer Kid, okay? Y'all are just haters. The game's good, though. If you can get past the art design, the game's good. He's just built different. Y'all are jealous. But yeah, speaking of Capcom and the 6-button controller, another prized possession in my 3DO set, we've got Street Fighter 2 Turbo. At the time this came out, this was basically the best home console version of Super Street Fighter 2. And it's still an amazing version. Absolutely love this. I've played this a number of times. I don't think I look like Soccer Kid. I just think he doesn't deserve so much fucking flack. Poor guy, he just can't help how he looks. But yeah, this is an amazing long box. Yeah, look at this Akuma. It's amazing. I absolutely love the way this game looks. This long box is gorgeous. Like I said, again, prized possession. I paid up for this one. I paid pretty much market value. I'm not going to say how much that was, but it was a hefty chunk of change. But, I mean, this is near mint. Or I'd say maybe excellent. Maybe not quite near mint. But yeah, for those that don't know, there is a... Because the 3DO controller was only 3 buttons, 3 face buttons. So they had to make a 6-button controller for the 3DO. And look at that funky controller. Someday I'm going to get this. I think Saruga Ya has listings for this. Last time I checked, they were out of stock, but I'm hoping they come back in stock. And I'm going to pick it up, because I do kind of want to try this game with that controller. So I'm going to go to China and get a facelift. Goddamn Trey. Okay, I got 3 more long boxes in the collection. We got Theme Park. Some of you may remember the infamous Theme Park stream where we opened the Willy Wonkus Vomitorium, and all our park goers got sick as hell, and not in the good way. This is a lot of fun, though. I had a lot of fun streaming this. I don't know if I'll stream it again anytime soon, but because I don't want to ruin the William Wonkus memories, you know? I feel like we peaked there. But yeah, this is a cheaper 3DO game. A lot of these, like, snapper case long box games are on the cheaper side. Theme Park, I think this is about a $30 game. Well, yeah, because the guy in this, the guy that kind of guides you through the gameplay, looks like Willy Wonka. But like a bootleg Willy Wonka. So we called him William Wonkus. Yeah, Blast, we all peaked there, I think it's safe to say. We all peaked with Theme Park. Fun park management game. What can I say? It's a good time. 3DO versions, I mean, it's decent. You want to play a game like this on PC, most likely, but it worked well enough on the 3DO, I thought. Then we got Total Eclipse. This is by Crystal Dynamics. For those that don't know, Crystal Dynamics was huge on 3DO. They were really pushing. I think they really came up during the 3DO era. I don't know what they worked on before the 3DO, but they made literally the only launch title for there was one launch title for the 3DO when it came out, and it was called Crash and Burn. That was by Crystal Dynamics. They did Total Eclipse here, which I think was an earlier game, and this is a not for resale version. They also did Gex and Off-World Interceptor. Just a lot of cool games on the 3DO. They were, I'd say, alongside EA and Crystal Dynamics were like the guys making 3DO games. They're just the flying ships from... They look very Tron, yeah. Yeah, I imagine they took some influence. But yeah, this is a lovely space shooter. Pseudo 3D. Very difficult, though. I've never beaten it. I think I got to, like, the third boss. Like, the third stage boss, and could not figure out how to progress. I should come back to this, though. Really decent early 3DO game. Would recommend. And then to round out the long box collection, I got my boy Wicked 18. This game is dirt cheap. I think I paid like 10 or 15 bucks for this. Complete in the box. This is like Pebble Beach golf links on steroids with crazy ass level designs. I mean, you see lava there. Just absolutely absurd. So I love the fact that it's like pretty much a golf simulator, but it's got like the weird fantastical golf courses. It vibes with me. I like it. So really love Wicked 18. This might be my favorite golf game. Like just period. Like actually. I don't know. Maybe Hot Shots Golf is my favorite, but yeah, Total Eclipse is cool. It's just very difficult. Hey there, Catman Foo. I do have Bubsy. Not on 3DO. There was never a 3DO Bubsy. It's about how far you made it, Mindscan. Yeah, no, it gets really tough. In my last 3DO game, I only have one Japanese 3DO game. I sold my other ones because they were porn games. I'll be real. I did not buy them. Stage 1 boss sent them my way with all the other cool stuff, with Road Rash, Cyberdillo, all the games I wanted. He's like, here's some porn games. And I'm like, I can't play these. So I sold them to my store and got a bunch of, like, way too much store credit for them. Like, way too much. I mean, he gave me the hookup of the century because I got like $500 worth of trade credit. Or no, not 500, but like $300 worth of trade credit. Which is, I mean, I basically got my pick of the store at that point. But yeah, last game I have here, Dr. Hauser. This is actually important because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first fully 3D survival horror game on any console. Now, obviously, Resident Evil is fully 3D. This predates Resident Evil. But like something like Resident Evil, the backgrounds are pre-rendered. This is in full 3D. The backgrounds, environments, everything is 3D. I believe this is the first one. It's by a company called Riverhill Soft. They also made Overblood on PS1, which is another survival horror game I've played. I love this game, though. It's so hokey and cheesy and corny. And I don't know. It's got a personality of its own. Yeah, this is a Japanese game. This did not come out in the US. But one of the more interesting 3DO games. Really like this one.
Played this card.
Crab added Ribbit King?
PS2.
Good old Ribbit King. Yeah, Dr. Hauser's by the Overblood people. Little known fact. But yeah, stage 1 definitely hooked me up, for sure. I got some really cool 3DO stuff. Honestly, if he had just sent me Road Rash, I would have been very happy. Have I played it? No. In fact, it's on the wheel. We just haven't gotten it. So I guess we'll add it again, and we'll have double the odds next time. Yeah, no, we've talked about Ribbit King. I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, that's my 3DO collection. That's it. There's definitely some games I'm missing. Definitely some 3DO games I'm missing. Off-World Interceptor. Even though I don't love the first Gex, I still want the first Gex because the long box is so cool on it. What else? Wolfenstein 3D would be amazing to own the long box for. I'm definitely missing some heavy hitters. Like Way of the Warrior, but I could do a spin to end. No, I think we're just gonna do a shorter stream tonight, to be honest. I'm not feeling like playing anything. We'll get back to the games tomorrow, I'm sure. I don't know. Anything else anybody would like to see? I could always go through another collection. Yeah, no, I just want to chill tonight. I want to relax. I don't get to relax very often. Have I heard about the Wii U's bricking? That got mentioned earlier. I don't know that much about it. Apparently the RAM goes bad or something? Flash storage is starting to go bad. Oof. Yeah, no, that's unfortunate. PAL PS2 Blast. I own one PAL game on the PS2. Any 8-bit game? I don't own any 8-bit games in my collection. We've been doing NES Shuffle, but I don't own any NES games in my collection. Yeah, no, it's funny. For all the PAL games I've played in the past, I don't actually own that many. Well, partially because I can't play the discs anyway. Because I have a US PS2. And it's not modded. I mean, it's soft modded. But PlayStation consoles are notoriously hard to unregion lock. Because there's no real way to do it other than like hard modding it or just straight up buying the region console you need. I do not own any SNES. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually. I may have had a game or two here and there, but no, I don't own any SNES. PS2? Dealer's choice? Yeah, I don't own a ton of PS2. Never owned an Amiga. Never even played one. If it's not made by Toshiba, the flash goes bad on Wii U? Okay, see, what? You'd have to open it up and see if it's a Toshiba flash chip. Then you're good. If it's somebody else, you're probably screwed. I don't know. I've been using my Wii U recently, and it's worked just fine, so I don't know how much of an isolated incident that is, but yeah, let's do some PS2. Okay. We'll show them the bulk of my collection for PS2. I did pick and choose a little bit because some of the games there, I mean, they're just not that interesting in the grand scheme of things. Actually, there's one more I'm gonna grab. And there's stuff like Klonoa 2 back there. It's like we talked about Klonoa already tonight. Favorite piece of gaming swag. This is not actually a game. Oh man, that's a tough question. I mean, I do have my, I'm blocking it. And I got another chair blocking it, but my Mario Odyssey standee, really love that one. I also just like console boxes, like my 3DO console box. I don't know, I think a lot of people wouldn't consider like console boxes like swag, but like my CDX box and my 3DO box, I don't know, I think they just look neat. I don't own a ton of like gaming memorabilia. I'm not a big memorabilia collector, but how is it not the blank? I mean, the blanket's cool. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, it's not official though. But yeah, I mean, there's little bits and pieces here and there of gaming swag I have, but nothing crazy. I don't have any magazines. Blanket is pretty great. No, it is for sure. But you guys have seen it hundreds of times. I thought I'd mention some stuff that people maybe don't necessarily quite look at very often. Any gaming? Yeah, I don't own any gaming magazines. I used to have a subscription to Nintendo Power during the GameCube, late GameCube, early Wii era. I don't have any of those anymore. I got rid of them. And what else? Had Game Informer for a while because when I was younger, I'd go into GameStop with my mom, and you know, the employees there would get you on the Power Up Rewards program, and they're like, you get a free subscription of Game Informer. So, brother has 200 EGMs under the sink in the bath. Those should not be in the bathroom. Are you trying to ruin them? The humidity's gonna fuck them up. Alright. We'll go through some PS2 games that I've played. Most of these I've actually streamed. I'd say the vast majority of these I've streamed. So none of these are like crazy new or anything. We got Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start... We'll start with both of these. Because these two, my hair is getting caught in the mic. These two are the first 2 games I ever streamed. Simpsons game was my first ever stream on Twitch back in December of 2019. And I played through this entire game. Lovely game. I really do like this game. It's funny, we didn't get to this one on the Simpsons Game-a-thon, but loved this. This is a sealed copy, by the way, because at the time I was emulating everything. So my friend got me a copy of the game, but I didn't bother to open it. So I got a nice sealed black label copy of Simpsons game. I did pick up the Wii version. I'll probably play the Wii version here at some point. Once I get around to it. Yo, Youper. Rebranded to Youper. Excellent. How's it going? It's going to be weird not calling you games a lot. Beat Simpsons game on Wii with a friend. Yeah, no, it's a decent co-op game. It's quite a good co-op game, actually. But yeah, then the second game I ever streamed was Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Zombie Ninja Pro-Am, and I think I picked this up at PRGE in 2019. Don't necessarily recommend this, even to fans of the show. It's not a great game. But it is kind of interesting, because it's part golf game, part beat-em up, part racing game. It does none of them incredibly well, though. That's kind of the issue. It kind of does 3 things half-assedly. And when they probably should have just focused on doing one thing well, but... Is it funny? There's moments. There's moments. But it's not like laugh my ass off funny. I almost sold it. I'll be honest. I almost sold this game because I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever play it again. But it is kind of fun to throw on every once in a while for a little bit. I got to revisit it, and none of you guys watched me play. Yeah, I mean, by the time when I was streaming this, I think I had 1 person in chat for most of it. I'd get like 1 person come in for like an hour or 2. And then they'd leave. Somebody else would show up. I'd talk to that 1 person. It was a different way of streaming. Different way of streaming, for sure. But I don't know if I'll ever play all the way through it in one sitting again. It's just, I don't think it's as interesting as you'd hope. Which is unfortunate. Because it's Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It should be super entertaining. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of lackluster. I hate to say it, but it's true. Next up, I got a really great cheap PS2 recommendation for y'all. This is City Crisis. As you can see, at one point, good old Hollywood Video Game Crazy wanted $4.99 and then $4.49 MVP. I got this from Double Jump for $2.99. I've played through this game twice. This is a incredibly fun arcade helicopter firefighting simulator. If that doesn't sound awesome, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, $2.99 for this is an absolute steal. I'm not sure why it's so cheap, because it's honestly a lot of fun. It's a good game. It's not like incredibly light on content. I mean, it's a little light. You kind of get replay value from having to get higher ranks on certain scenarios. They kind of have you replay scenarios to boost your rank and play better. But for what it is, I mean, easily $2.99. Unironically, people out there would probably pay money for these stickers. Yeah, I honestly, when I get stickers like this, I keep them on. I know a lot of people are bugged by like Game Crazy stickers or GameStop stickers or any of those things. I love them. I have some PS1 games with EB Games stickers on them. I don't know. To me, it's part of the history of the game. And I even have a tiny, very tiny collection of, you can probably see them right there, my Hollywood Video OG Xbox games. Because I mean, Hollywood Video meant a lot to me back in the day. That's where I rented my OG Xbox games. That's where I rented ToeJam and Earl 3. That's where I rented Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters Melee. So I only have 4 games right now. But I'd like to get more Hollywood Video OG Xbox games. Maybe one day a set of like everything I rented. That would be cool. You have a thing about removing them from people when you seal them up at work and stuff? Shouldn't it be taking those off when sending me games? I mean, I don't know. It depends on the sticker. I gotta say, like a modern GameStop sticker does not excite me. And I'm not sure it ever will. Because I don't really have nostalgic for like going into like 2010 onward era GameStop. But I'm also, part of it is kind of lazy. It's a laziness thing. And also I like knowing what I paid. Like, these double jump stickers, you know? It reminds me, like, I supported a local business. I got a good deal. And they're usually at the very bottom of the case where double jump puts them, so, like, I don't mind it at all. And again, it, like, reminds me how much I paid for it. I don't have to keep track of it elsewhere. That's what you mean? When they're coming in clean when you send me more stuff? Yeah, I mean, it depends on the sticker. It will in 20 years, Trey. I'll be I don't think I'm going to be nostalgic for GameStop. I'm sorry to say it. I know Kreb works hard. I have no like, I don't dislike GameStop necessarily as much as some people seem to. But I don't know, I only go in there like once a year. Like, last time I went in was to buy Dead Space on PS5. Which was what? Late January, early February? A couple months ago. But it's very rare. We got Crazy Frog Arcade Racer. I genuinely love this game. To the surprise of nobody. I actually think this is like one of the most fun, dorky racing games on the system. I do recommend this. This is technically the sequel that came out in the US. There's a European exclusive that's the true original that's way jankier. This one actually functions, so I could recommend this one. It started to go up in price a little bit. I think Donkey posted a tweet about this game or something, and it kind of blew up. It's like the most viewed video. My my playthrough of this on my YouTube channel is like my most viewed video on YouTube for some reason. I think Donkey or somebody had something to do with that. Yeah, classic Donkey, right? Nobody gives a shit about this game, and then Donkey talks about it, and like suddenly it's like a thing people want to know about. But yeah, actually fun game. I would recommend it if you like racing games. Zoomers will be walking around deserted GameStops in 20 years. Like the dead mall YouTubers, legit. Is the GBA port of it any good of Crazy Frog Racing? It's not great. It's fine for what it is, but it's not great. Hey there, Fever, welcome in. Last time we were there, Trey, you were high playing the Kirby game. Just went in to play some free video games. I feel that. Next up, we got Crazy Taxi. I played this one just a few days ago. Lovely version of Crazy Taxi. No complaints. Waiting for somebody to say Dreamcast version is better. I don't care. Any version's good. I want to eventually get my hands back on the... Well, this is another game I'm renting from Hollywood Video. Crazy Taxi 3 on OG Xbox. I need to get a complete nice copy of that at some point. It's not a super expensive game. Just haven't gotten around to adding it to the collection. But yeah, that's one that's been missing. Crazy Taxi 3. High Roller. High Roller has great cover art, by the way. I'd say the worst part about this version of the game is the cover art is just boring. It's like, woohoo. Logo on yellow background. Black top and bottom. Way to go, Acclaim. I'm gonna blame Acclaim for that. Dreamcast version's better. It's the same game. A Crazy Taxi is just a regular taxi to you, Lemons? Road Rage is better. Maybe the GBA version. Yeah, no, I can't even joke. That is too far. Road Rage being the inherent ripoff. Next up, we got Downhill Domination. For those that don't know, I absolutely adore this game. This is like... This probably, if not in my top 10, maybe even my top 5 PS2 games ever. So good. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, and the title speaks for itself. Downhill Domination. You're going downhill. You're trying to dominate. Downhill mountain bike racing game. It's by Incognito Entertainment, who did Twisted Metal Black and a game we're going to get to here. Essential PS2. Absolutely essential. Still better than the phone version where you can't do any quick turns or fast throttling. Oh, I can't imagine playing Crazy Taxi on a phone. Yeah, no, that would be ridiculous. How would you be able to do anything? Sure, some deep analyzers would see the smallest details of differences in each version. Yeah, exactly. It's like the vast majority of people aren't going to be able to tell what's different. Exactly. We got 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker. This game's great. This is by Sega. Another Acclaim published Sega game. This is also on Dreamcast. I originally played this on Dreamcast. But I actually revisited this one not super long ago. Really liked it. Kreb, lurking. Thank you for the lurk. Enjoy the lurk. Play Crazy Taxi on the phone all the time at work. It's decent. It gets the job done. I don't know. It would bother me since I'm pretty good at the console version. Not being able to, like, quick start and stop. I don't know. I think that would mess with me. But yeah, 18-wheeler. I love this game. There's a better... I do recommend playing this version regardless. It's super cheap. See, this is an example. Actually, this era of GameStop / EB sticker, I'm nostalgic for. Because this is what they used when I was buying stuff from them. These kind of stickers. Their newer ones, I don't know. I don't really care for. But I find it funny somebody paid $40 for this used. When this is like a $10, $15 game now. And for that price, I highly recommend it. Just Sega arcade goodness at its finest. We got Firefighter FD18. This is by Konami. This is... I'd say it's like a firefighting simulator, but it's also got elements of arcadiness to it. I really like this game. Unfortunately, the streams kind of underperformed. Which, I mean, hey, it is what it is. I thought this was a great game, though. It was a tad long, but... I don't know. I think I liked it probably more than most people watching it enjoyed watching it. Sometimes that happens. I do recommend this game. I overpaid for this a little bit, I'll be honest. I bought this from my friend, Sarbacue, and he works at a game shop in his area. And they had this one for a little high, but I got a bunch of other stuff, and he gave me, like, his employee discount, so it ended up working out. I don't think this is a $40 game, though. I think it's more like a $30 game, $25, $30. If you get it for that, honestly, I think it's worth it. I don't remember exactly how long it took us to beat this. I think it was more than one stream. I think it was like 2 streams, maybe 3. So, decently chonky game. But I liked it. I really liked it. I wish the stream had done a little better and more people could have seen it. But what can you do? We also got Gadget Racers. We played this on PS2 Roulette, and I bought it after sampling it because I just really liked it. This is part of the Chorokyu series. Really enjoyed this one. This is a cheap game. I got this for $9, I think, shipped to my house, which was hard to argue with. Yo, NSU, how's it going? Welcome in. Hopefully you're doing well. Just going through some of my collections, some of the games I got. It looks like a $9 game. Wow, Trey. It's a fun racing game with some like light, like I'd say the Chorokyu series is kind of, I don't know if a car could be chibi, but like it's also got some like tuning and upgrading elements to it, which makes it a little more interesting. This is King of Route 66. This is essentially the sequel to 18-wheeler, and I think this is, even though I still recommend 18-wheeler, this game is better. More content, better content, just overall a more fleshed out experience. And this is a cool game because the cover is foil. The silhouette of the lady here is actually like this silver metallic print, which just looks awesome. It doesn't quite do justice on camera here, but it looks great in person. Lovely game. Logo looks like Crazy Taxi XXX. How's it going to Epic Quack? That's a way to enter. Welcome in. That game seems cool. It is. I do believe you can play it multiplayer. Yes, you can play it 2-player. Do I have the sequel? What? This doesn't have it. There's only one game. I mean, this is like a spiritual sequel to 18-wheeler, which I do also have. So, but this is, I would say this is the better game of the two. They're both worth playing for their own right. And this game is a little more expensive. This is more like a $20, $25 game. Yeah, they're both by Sega. Both by AM2. So, it's just like a more fleshed out version of 18-wheeler. It's great. Yo, Jeremy, welcome in. Was that not what it was? Oh, there's different modes. Yeah, there's a bunch of modes in King of Route 66. Yeah, we played the Queen of Route 66 as well. Yeah, we've played a lot of that game. It's definitely worth checking out. Next up here we got Rumble Roses. I think I paid about $25 for this one. Yes, this is fan service the game, but I promise The gameplay is actually really good. This is one of my favorite wrestling games. Just really enjoyable. Yes, there's some eye candy. But like the underlying mechanics of this game are nothing to gawk at. It's great. Rumble Roses. Nightfire's foil covers. I didn't realize Nightfire had a foil cover. Did it have a foil cover on Xbox, or was that like exclusive to PS2? Great game, better than the sequel. Yeah, there is a sequel, Rumble Roses. Is it X on 360? Apparently that one's not nearly as good. Rumble Roses exclusive. What? We don't talk about XX? Yeah, apparently some people don't like it. We got Simpsons Road Rage. This is a game that I grew up with on the OG Xbox. We recently picked this one up because I got it in a lot with Blasto for PS1, and as well as South Park. And I mostly bought the lot for Blasto. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Mostly bought the lot for Blasto. The price of the lot was only like a few bucks more than Blasto normally goes for. So I basically got this in South Park for almost free, and this is a shameless Crazy Taxi ripoff, but it is still a lot of fun. Unfortunately, this version suffers from like some major slowdown that the Xbox version just does not have. Xbox Master Race confirmed, but do like Road Rage. It's not as good as Crazy Taxi, obviously, but it's a fun tie-in, fun ripoff. EA actually got sued by Sega, and they had to settle out of court. So I think it's safe to say, yeah, no, they weren't trying to hide their influence, but still a fun game. XX is good, S-Pock. I guess it depends on who you ask. Yes? PS2 Nightfire is gold, like a foil cover. Yeah, I don't remember the Xbox version being foil, but maybe I'm wrong. Next up, we got Road Trip Adventure. This is also part of the Chorokyu series, like Gadget Racers. But this is essentially a car PG. So it takes the Chorokyu franchise, which was mostly focused on racing and tuning your car, and you actually get like a hub world, an overworld, with other cars you can talk to, interact with. There's quests. Awesome game. I did stream this I think almost to completion. I think I got like basically to the end, and I was having trouble with like the final Grand Prix, but I saw most of what this game has to offer. It is really cool. It's Cars. It's better than Cars, the video game. I'm just gonna say it. I'm sorry. For those that like Cars, the video game, I'm sorry. This is better. But yeah, no. Does Cars have rock climbing? Car rock climbing? I didn't think so. But yeah, it's fun. Highly recommend this. And I think I bought this for only like 13 bucks. Yeah, I paid $13 for this. I think it's since shot up a little bit, but if you can get it and you like RPGs, it's cool. Mile High Taxi. That got mentioned. Kreb mentioned that the other night. I need to look into that one, actually. I would like to play that one. It sounds crazy good. Talk to a dope selling you a used car. Not quite Craigslist Simulator. If you like Rumble Roses, XX is trash. Now, Ninja, let's be respectful of other opinions, okay? You're free to have yours, but no need to call anything trash. Next up, we got Smuggler's Run. This game's great. This was a launch title for the PS2. Published by Rockstar. This was developed by Angel Studios. Which admittedly, their other projects aren't coming to mind, but I love this game. This was, like I said, a launch title. I mean, Ninja, if you're saying something's trash and somebody likes something, likes that thing, I mean, you're basically calling them trash by association. But anyway, Smuggler's Run is great. This is essentially a mission-based driving game with huge sprawling environments. Crazy draw distance for a launch PS2 game. Definitely a graphical showcase. Definitely I honestly I haven't played many games on the PS2 that have worlds this open. Admittedly, the worlds themselves are a little lacking. They're a little empty, but I didn't mind it that much because it was just these giant sprawling environments. You could basically go wherever you wanted, and the mission structure was pretty fun. It gets a little repetitive after a while. I have beaten the game before. It also gets extremely hard toward the end. The AI is insanely aggressive. To a point where, like, missions become insanely hard to beat because your car just keeps getting absolutely thrashed. But, a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this. It's still a budget game. I got this for, like, $5. I think it's still kind of in that territory. It's an under $10 game. Definitely recommend this. If you're into driving games, mission-based driving games, I find this more fun than, like, say, Driver or Driver 2 on the PS1. Definitely a good one. Not an insult. Not gonna lie, but the cover art and name makes you think it was a movie adaptation. As far as I know, no movie tie-in. But yeah, I could kind of see you thinking that. That's fair, honestly. Warzone's on GameCube is better, though. I mean, it's basically more of the same, Trey. Warzone's is just Smuggler's Run 2 on GameCube. That was your first PS2 game on launch? Yo, nice. It's a solid one to start with. Of the launch titles, I mean, there's some good launch titles on PS2. That's definitely one of my favorites, though. Next up, we got Space Channel 5 on PS2, which is one I've been meaning to get to. I played this early on stream, but I played it on emulator, and I think this game is known for having some tricky rhythms. This is a rhythm game, if you never played it. This initially came out on the Dreamcast, parts 1 and 2, and this is basically parts 1 and 2 in the same box. But I should get back to these at some point. Probably a little hard to stream, though, because the rhythm games, you need a lot of focus and attention. But I do want to try and stream it, because they're awesome games. They don't get streamed very often. And I got a decent deal on this. This was another one I picked up in 2019 at PRGE. The game everyone talks about and no one talks about. I think everybody talks about it, but nobody actually streams it. It's one of those games, I think. The Bouncer, I really like The Bouncer. I don't own The Bouncer. Someday I'll get a copy of that, but I don't have it yet. Alright. Got a few more PS2 games here. We got Tekken 4. I got this at last PRGE in October for like $15, which I was definitely happy with. Great game. Great game. Love Tekken 3. I don't know if I like this nearly as much as Tekken 3. It's close. But, yeah, solid fighting game. $15. Totally worth it. And, yeah, it's got Tekken Force mode. Just phenomenal. I think 3 is better. I would say 3 is better as well. Hell, I might even like Tag Tournament a little better. But 4 is still a great game. Okay, we got another driving game here. This one, another budget driving game I can recommend. Stuntman. This is by Reflections, who also made the Driver games. I personally think this is better than Driver. Love this game. Yo, hey there, Crumbs. Yeah, Crumbs knows. Stuntman is badass. $2.99. I think I spent like a good 8 hours in a single sitting to beat this game. Lovely. I mean, yeah, I probably hate the first Driver. I was gonna say I don't hate it, but yeah, no, I kind of do. Because the first Driver's bullshit. The difficulty's unfair. It's stupid. It's so unfair. Nobody has fun playing the last mission on Driver. I'm sorry, the last mission arguably ruins the game. This game's also very difficult. Some of the last few missions are tough, but much more fair in terms of the actual difficulty curve and the level. Definitely like this one. And it's still like a $5 game. It's worth picking up for that. If you're at all into driving games. Essentially, the synopsis behind this is that you're a Hollywood stunt driver. And so you're pulling off essentially scenes. And I was introduced to this series with the sequel. There's a sequel called Stuntman Ignition that I played on 360, but it's also on PS2 and I think also PS3. But Stuntman Ignition is also great. Stuntman Ignition is not nearly as good as this. It's easier than this. I kind of prefer it for that reason. But they're both, you can't go wrong with either one. Driver 2 is the better game. Yeah, if we're comparing Driver 1 and 2, Driver 2 is better. World's Scariest Police Chases is also really great and slept on. We got 2 more great games. Both by the same dev. These are both by Incog. We got Twisted Metal Black. Arguably the best Twisted Metal game, period. Phenomenal game. I would say my one, if I had to nitpick one part about this game, is the fact that the visuals are a little too dark. I know they were going for a darker aesthetic, but I don't know, I could have used some color. I really do like... I like the way the PS1 games approach visually. Because they still have elements of darkness. But it's like, I don't know, with the PS2 era, there's a lot of PS2 games that are guilty of being too dark. But yeah, this is very dark and edgy. Not even just in terms of visuals, but in terms of content. This is one of the darkest games in the series. It's crazy. Yeah, don't play this game if you're depressed. I'll say that. But solid vehicular combat. Great iteration of the series. There's also Head-On PS2, which I want to pick up at some point. I don't have that. I've played it. It's great. But Twisted Metal Black. This is also on the PSN right now as well. So you can play PS2 on PS4 version. It's also playable on PS5. I did pick that up as well. So, yeah. $10, hard to go wrong with that. And then lastly, for my PS2 games, we did miss a couple back there, but this is the bulk of them. We got War of the Monsters, which I've played a few times on stream. I got this from Double Jump. I think I traded for this. So I don't even think I paid for this, which was nice. Lovely, lovely game. I have the PS4/5 edition, and it has trophy support, and I have all but 2 of the trophies. I'm missing 2 of them. One of them is you have to play a 2-player game, but the problem is I don't have a second controller, so it doesn't let me. And the other one is to unlock, I believe, all the costumes for all the characters, which requires a lot of tokens. So I think if I beat the game one more time, I'm going to play this again in the next couple months. Hopefully, I'll get another DualSense controller, so I can fully plat this, or I guess 100% it. I don't think it has a plat. But great kind of Godzilla-inspired monster fighting game. Really like this one. Fuck Small Brawl. I like Small Brawl. I like Twisted Metal Small Brawl. I think that game's fine. It's weird it came out after Black, but I still like it. Espog, you got the free online version of Twisted Metal Black from the mail card? Oh, nice. Classic. Do I own a copy of Simpsons Hit Run? It's right there. Boom, PC version. 20th anniversary of the game. Are we gonna get a sequel or remake? I mean, I can hope. I don't know, my hopes aren't high, though. I would love it if it happened, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. I feel like there's so much rights and clearances that would have to be sorted out for that kind of thing to resurface. I just can't tell you. But I would hope someday. Kyle and Matt War of the Monsters face off. Free online. Well, no, S-Pox saying he bought Twisted Metal Black. You could mail in because it didn't have online support in the original game because it was like an early PS2 game. When the network adapter came out and was getting supported, you could mail in for essentially a online disc of Twisted Metal Black. The disc was free. That's what S-Pox saying. But yeah, in terms of Hit and Run getting remade or remastered or getting a sequel, I don't know. They made 2 games. Yeah, they had to rebuild the game for online support. Because again, the initial game didn't have. I think when Twisted Metal Black launched, I don't think PS2 online functionality was really there. This was early days of online adoption was not high on consoles at that point. It was starting to get there, but it hadn't ratcheted up. But yeah, that's most of my PS2. What would I want? Would I want it even more show accurate? I mean, that'd be nice. Although I don't know how they do that. Trying to make a 3D game with like a 2D hand-drawn art style. I mean, that's an inherent challenge. Who the hell played online on PS2? Well, I mean, I didn't have a PS2. People did play online though. Games like SOCOM, yeah, Ultimate Alliance. People played online. It just wasn't as widespread as it was by the time we got to like the 360 and PS3. Yeah, that's the bulk of my PS2 collection. I don't know. Maybe we'll go through one more. My OG Xbox collection's too big to go through right now. Same with the bulk of my US PS1. There's so many games there. Even my OG Xbox is too big. You had to do games. Yeah, you had to have GameSpy. Good old GameSpy. Even some PC games. I remember Battlefield 2 using GameSpy. Played Pro Skater 3 online. Yo, nice. That'd be a fun one to play online. I don't know. What else could I go through? I can go through Saturn, but you guys have probably seen. I've basically unboxed all that live. Final Fantasy 11, yeah. Final Fantasy 11, I think that's probably the game that the majority of people that were online on PS2 were probably playing. Yeah, that game was huge. Did it release on PC later? Or were there just a lot of console people playing? Even though there was a PC version. Yeah, Phantasy Star as well. Got Hi-Fi Rush this year. I mean, it's possible, Dino. I feel like it's definitely easier to do that kind of thing now than it was back in 2003. But I don't know. It remains to be seen. I would love a hit and run remaster, or I think a sequel would be better, honestly. Because I mean, I'll be a little selfish here. I think for all the console people, it would be nice to get a hit and run remaster. But playing the original 2003 version on PC, I mean, it already runs in HD. It looks amazing. You can get mods to have it play in widescreen and all that, and it looks great. So I don't feel like we need a remake or a remaster of the OG hit and run. I think a sequel would be more interesting, personally. PS2 Slim's got the... Yeah, my Slim has the Ethernet port. But yeah, for the OG PS2s, there was no built-in networking. So you had to get the hard drive / network adapter. 2007. Yeah, Simpsons game looked decent. 2D light. I mean, it was still 3D models, but yeah. The cell shading made it look a little more... It gave it that tinge of, like, kind of hand-drawn. For sure. Yeah, I don't know if there's any collections you guys want to see. Yeah, a lot of the other collections, OG Xbox and PS2, PS1 specifically, are just like, my collections for those are massive. It would take me forever to get through them. I could do... Genesis, my Genesis collection. I mean, that's my whole Genesis collection right there, pretty much. Minus the 2 games I showed earlier. But yeah, OG Xbox, I think I got like 60 OG Xbox games. I got like 70 PS1 games. Got some pretty big collections for those. I could go... Oh, actually, I have my import PS2 we haven't done. I'm running out of shelf space, so unfortunately these have been sitting on the ground. But I've played most of these, actually. This is one that Mansta sent in recently. Mostly because it's got the Game of Life spinner, which is absolutely dope. But yeah, this is like a Japanese-only release Game of Life game that comes straight up with a spinner controller, which is awesome. I do have legs, Quack, believe it or not. Little Jank, think tech has progressed enough we could get a Dream Simpsons game with kind of one-to-one show-accurate, cel-shaded 2D-like art style. I don't know. It remains to be seen again. Remains to be seen. I would love for something like that, but again, I don't know. I feel like there's too much legal hoops they'd have to jump through to get something like that released. I don't know. Love to see it though. I'd definitely buy it. I got one PAL game. We got Flintstones Bedrock Racing. I actually genuinely really like this game. It's not that great. I'll be honest. It's not that good. But I've played it twice on stream to completion. I have fun with it. What can I say? Not likely because 1 Disney and 2 Activision. Yeah, exactly. There's just too many companies involved. I think that's the issue. And they'd have to all agree, which good luck, right? Still that cutscene mod for Hit and Run? Yeah, there's a pretty active modding community for Hit and Run. So that lessens the blow of the likelihood of like a remake or remaster not being very high. The modding scene is actually quite good. We also got battle construction vehicles here on PS2. I love this game. I did a full playthrough of there is a PAL version of this. It's all in English, but the PAL version has really shitty artwork. It's really not very good looking. Plus, I wouldn't be able to play it anyway. So just for the sake of collection purposes, I have the Japanese version, and I can just play the PAL version on my soft modded PS2 whenever I want to play it. So, great game. This is essentially a fighting game where you use battle construction vehicles. It's as silly and zany as it sounds. The story is also batshit crazy. I still have fond memories of my playthrough of this on stream. Highly recommend this one. If you can find a way to play it, admittedly it's not the easiest to play because there was never a US NTSC version, but definitely worth checking out. 3EA. Does EA still have the game rights for Simpsons? Yeah, see, absolute mess. Getting EA, Disney, and Activision to work together. Good luck with that. Next up, I got Mawaza. This is one of my favorite PS2 puzzle games. Actually, it is my favorite PS2 puzzle game. I got really into this game. In part thanks to Pete Dorr, also in part thanks to Upside Down Matt. Both of them got me into this game. I grinded the hell out of this game. In fact, I still have the record for this. I got a sub 10 somehow. Essentially, this game is like a shape building game. You have these orbs, and your character runs around and connects the orbs together with these lines. And you basically make triangles and squares and all these shapes and clash them together to make combos. What was the last game called? Battle Construction Vehicles. Yeah, Trashy even played this. Trashy even played this and did some runs. But yeah, I managed to get a sub 10, which I don't think I'd be able to even get close to now, but I absolutely love this game. It's so good. Adore this one. Highly recommend it. It is Japanese exclusive. If you can find a way to play it, though, if you like puzzle games at all, lovely game. Absolutely lovely. Lucasfilm managed to start up third-party licensing for Star Wars games? Who knows? I mean, that's ultimately the end of the conversation. We don't know what's going to happen. We can all hope, but that's all we can really do, you know? Next up, the rest of these, by the way, are all Simple Series games. Most of my Japanese PS2 set is Simple Series games. And this is one I was talking about with Mindscan at some point here. This is Love Smash 5.1. This is a tennis game with waifus. How could you say no? I don't know, honestly, at the end of the day, it looks like a decent tennis game. I do need to play this one, though. I've played most of these, but not all of them. This is one of the ones I haven't gotten to yet. But yeah. I'm a big fan of the Simple Series during this era. There's a lot of cool Simple Series games on the PS2. Like this one. This is Street Golfer. I originally played this, the PAL version. This is obviously the Japanese release. Part of the Simple Series. There is Simple Series 2000 and Simple Series 2000 Ultimate. So you'll see the Ultimate sometimes. I think Ultimate just meant like kind of higher production values slightly. And they have their own volume numbers. So just heads up if you're wondering. But yeah, Street Golfer. This also got a PAL release. Really cool golf game set in urban environments and locations. All the courses are like city streets and sky rises and stuff. It's really neat. Played the earlier Love Smash, it sucked ass, Mindscan. Well, maybe 5.1's like a better director's cut. One can hope, right? We got Love Ping Pong, also known as Pink Pong in PAL territories. Yes, I played this. It's actually a decent table tennis game. Nobody's gonna believe me, but it was actually alright. Ignore the waifus. It was actually decent. A little uncomfortable, but the gameplay was there, I'm telling you. Man, I'm really not helping my case. Look at these next ones. Jesus, what was I thinking when I bought these? So we got the cat fight and Love Upper. I have not played the cat fight yet. But I have played Love Upper, and this game is incredibly hard. That's bad word choice. Very difficult game. I'll say it that way, okay? Very difficult game. Camel had also played this one. I remember Camel coming in, and he was like, yeah, the first couple matches easy. And that's exactly how it went down. Like, the first couple matches, I kicked ass. And then, like, suddenly you get to, like, match 3 or 4. And the difficulty just absolutely flips and becomes, like, impossibly hard. And, yeah, I didn't get past that. Kind of gave up after that. So, can't necessarily recommend those. Street Golfer is good. Street Golfer is good. How's it going, Cryonic? Welcome in, Yared. Just going through my PS2 import collection here. Yeah, what a time to drop in. I know. Everybody comes in. I mean, they probably saw the thumbnail. Let's be honest. Okay, the rest of these aren't weird, I promise. This one's actually really good. This is Maze King, which is a sequel to that PS1 import I showed earlier, the Maze. This is basically a modern, updated version, new generation version of the Maze game. Like I said, like the last one. PvP, you're in a maze. You gotta get 3 keys. Your opponent has one of the keys. You battle it out, duke it out to get all your keys. And then you go to the exit. Rinse, repeat. A lot of fun. Really like this game. It's super cheap. It's literally dirt cheap. I got this for like $2. So, can I read the back of the box, Demonic? No. Sequel to the most memorable Simple Series games ever. I know, and that's the beauty of the Simple Series. Is like some of the best games there are just like, I mean, they live up to the name. They're simple games. They're just very basic premises, but a lot of fun. We got 4 more here. This next one I really liked. This is Security Police. This is a action racing vehicular combat game where you're a police officer on your motorbike and you're stopping criminals, stopping bad guys. Really fun. Really liked this one a lot. This one was also dirt cheap. This was like $3 or something. Like just actually pennies on the dollar. And I had a lot of fun with this one. We streamed it to completion. Would recommend this one. I think I'm the only person I've seen talk about it on the internet, so it's a cool one. Next up, we got, this one's kind of famous. This is, I forget what they call it. I don't remember what this translates to in English, but this got released in Europe as well, and there it was known as Demolition Girl. I'm not gonna lie, I've played this game twice now. The first time I kind of liked it. Second time I really did not. Not only is it like really voyeuristic and kind of fucking creepy and pervy, but also it's just like not that fun to play. Which sucks, because it looks cool. And you look at the cover and you're like, oh, I bet I get to play as the giant kaiju woman. No. No, you play as like helicopters shooting at the giant kaiju woman. Just, it looks fun. It gets you that way. It sucks you in and ropes you in that way. Yeah, I can't recommend it. Some people like this game. I know APOC has also streamed this. I think he kind of liked it. Again, the first time I played it, I sort of liked it. But on repeat plays, it does not hold up. It just doesn't. Okay, we got 2 more here. We've got... I'm going to put these together because they're kind of similar. We've got the Bushido and the Kung Fu. And these are both like 3D kind of beat 'em up brawlers. Both of these were pretty fun. They're nothing to write home about necessarily, but for Simple Series stuff, I mean, they fit the bill. They were enjoyable for what they were. And I think Kung Fu had like multiple storylines. I think we only played a couple of them, but we did get credits a couple times. And then I think Bushido is a little bit more linear. Both decent. Not incredible or amazing or must-plays by any means, but just nice to fill out the Simple Series. Yeah, it's Giant Waifu Simulator Demolition Girl, except you're not the waifu. Which is like, why even bother at that point, you know? What's the purpose? What's the purpose? But that's my import PS2. That's all my Japanese PS2 games. I was thinking what else I could show off. Again, I think PS1 is just a bit too much to go through tonight. Same with OG Xbox. I think it's just too many games. I do have PS4 and 5. I have some PC games, but I can't imagine there's too much interest in that. See my Terminator decks? I could show those real quick, actually. Ooh, if we're interested. Bushido's fucking jank? I thought Bushido was fine. Do I have any peripherals? Nothing crazy. I mean, I showed the game a life spinner earlier. I do have a fishing rod controller for PS2 that we've played a couple times on stream. But yeah, I don't have a lot of peripherals, honestly. Not a big peripherals guy. There's a few I'd like, though. Namely, like, if I ever get a Dreamcast, I gotta get a fishing rod for that. Just for Sega Bass Fishing. Okay, maybe we'll look over my Terminator decks and then probably call it a night. I was planning tonight to be a short stream, so this will work out. But yeah, I did put decks together for my Terminator cards. We can go through them real quick, kind of explain some of the ideas behind them. No arcade sticks? Nope. I do have... I believe I have an OG Xbox dance mat, but I don't even know where it is. S-Pod, going to bed. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. But yeah, I did put together some decks. We'll go through these really quick. Nothing too long or crazy. I guess we'll start. I'll be honest, I put more effort into my Resistance deck, so I'm probably going to go through the Terminator deck first. I mean, I put some effort into this one too, but I think I plan on playing the Resistance more, and you'll see why. Do I have a train controller? No, I don't have any train controllers. So I decided to go... Essentially, if anybody isn't aware of this card game, there is a Terminator CCG, and essentially one side plays as Skynet, the other side plays as the Resistance, and it actually looks like a really fun kind of cat and mouse game, and I'll try to explain some of the mechanics as we go along. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm not an expert. I haven't played it yet, and there's only like one video online of how to play. And I've read the rules, so I kind of have an understanding of how it works, but we'll go through it here. For the Terminator deck, I decided to go with the regular Infiltrator. There are better Infiltrators, but the reason I went for the standard is because his production cost is really low and allows me to add some cool add-on abilities. Yo, Trappist, how's it going? Welcome in. And then my abilities, we got Subdermal Armor, which just gains +1 armor, which is pretty nice. Targeting Matrix adds +1 to hit with ranged items. And since his main weapon is the 45 longside, we're always getting +1 to hit. So that's pretty nice. And then medical training. So we can heal our Terminator. He gains the medic resource, and I've got a couple event cards that allow him to heal. So that's the base Terminator with his implants. I do play Condition. You get to play a combat pool to bring a second location right into play immediately. So you have 2 locations in play, like, right at the start, which is great, because really the way the Terminator is going to win is to take out the Resistance and their supporting characters. And the sooner your Terminator can connect to one of your opponent's locations, the better. So the more locations you can get out, the better. That's kind of the idea behind that. And then starting locations, Alamo Sports Shop. It's the fixed starting location. Police station, obviously, that's where the Resistance is going to want to take their characters. So you definitely want to be able to intercept there. Tech Noir as well, obviously, because Sarah Connor is the big supporting character in this. She has the most victory points, and if you can get to Tech Noir before the Resistance, you can kind of stall them out. I play Apartment Complex for a character, Suburban Street, Sewer. Sewer's a good hiding place if you need to heal the Terminator. So those are why those are in there. And then Main Streets are required. Yo, hey there, Torn. How's it going? Welcome in. A little bit of a short stream tonight, guys. I do appreciate everybody that's hung out. I know this is not my normal stream style, but just kind of want to have a chill night tonight. Sounds like Civ, but Terminator? I could see some light comparisons to Civ. I could see some light comparisons. You'll notice in my Terminator deck, there's going to be, like, no supporting characters. Literally, my only supporting characters are Ginger and Matt. Honestly, I probably didn't even need to include Matt. Even though he's good to have. He can take some damage if he needs to. Deal out some damage. The reason I played Ginger, I just kind of played them both for fun because they're a couple in the movie. So I thought it was kind of cute to have them both in there. And Ginger is cool because if you have her at Tech Noir, you can basically stop Sarah Connor or any supporting character from getting played by the opponent, which is pretty cool. So definitely a good one to play. And I just realized she gets you out dancing, which I think I pulled a second one of those cards last night. So I might actually change an event in here and put a second out dancing so I can stall the opponents for longer. I think that might be a good move. Just dawned on me. Yared. Gengar, the Shadow Pokemon, a ghost and poison type. Gengar can pass through dimensions and appear almost anywhere. Since Gengar absorbs any warmth around it, the temperature suddenly drops wherever it appears. Gotta hit us with that Pokédex. I'm doing alright, Tord. Kind of a chill stream night, nothing crazy. Taking it low-key. Just because I've been, like, really grinding out lately, it feels. You know? So I've just been kind of... It's about time to take it slow. It was like a day where I'm like, I don't really want to play anything, but I also don't want to not stream. That's kind of where we're at. And I'm glad I've just had people hanging out here. There you go, Cryonic. Enjoy your pack. But yeah, no, I just dawned on me. We did pull another out dancing. So I should replace one of the other events in here. Maybe I'll try and figure out what event I should get rid of. We've got 45 long slide, base Terminator weapon, the laser sight, which adds accuracy, hollow point rounds, which just increases damage to that weapon, and then sunglasses adds infiltration. Welcome back, Kreb. How's it going? Rolled the RNG, landed on one of your personal faves. It was RNG Gengar? Nice. Crazy few days, Torn. I feel that, yeah. Chill is still a Kyle stream, what can I say? How many of each card am I allowed in my deck? I think you get a maximum of 3 of the same. And the minimum draw deck size, I think, is 40 cards. So, honestly, you kind of want to keep it at 40. Because the more cards you add, you just more filler, right? You want to keep it lean and mean. So that's kind of my goal with these. So they're the minimum deck size for a custom deck. And then just events for Terminator is the rest of these. Again, maybe I'll try to find one I can replace without dancing. This you can remove the event and top 3 cards of your discard deck to cancel all effects of the first attack on this character. Just straight up cancel some attacks. I think that's a rare. Got evasive maneuvers. Obviously, another dodged attack. Human error is another good rare. It allows you to basically shrug off damage to a supporting character instead, which is pretty dope. So your Terminator doesn't take damage. And then this card is pretty cool as well. This is the last rare in here. This allows you to remove your infiltration, which is basically how well you blend in as a human. So you can't control supporting characters, but at this point in the game, if you've taken damage, you probably don't need to be controlling supporting characters anyway. So it basically allows you to remove damage tokens, which is nice. Adaptive programming adds combat pool, which is a resource you kind of need every time you get attacked more than once in the same turn. So that's pretty nice. I think I'm gonna flip out a hesitation. I think I'm gonna get rid of one of my hesitations. It's good, but it cancels. I don't know. Actually, you know what? Let's not be rash here, because it cancels all attacks at a location, which, considering my resistance deck is gonna have 4 main characters, you can cancel 4 attacks, which is just wild. Chronic, nice to see more of the Terminator deck. Played more of the RE4 remake demo. Understand what more of the confusion regarding controls. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it sounded like maybe things weren't as clear as they could have been. You got unpredictability. This discards an event card, which is nice. Anticipation gains you a free attack. Not during the attack round. So you get to attack twice, presumably, in a round. Battlefield repairs, obviously repairs the Terminator. Fearless adds 1 to plus 1 to hit, which is nice. Got ineffective weaponry. Your Terminator gains resistance. Got inhuman resilience, more resistance. And you get another +1 if you're at the same location as 3 or more opposing characters. And with the resistance, there's a good chance it's going to happen. Misfire. You can target a ranged item and declare all declared attacks with that item are canceled. Which is pretty nice. Multiple targets. Pretty straightforward. Allows you to select multiple targets to attack. Obstructions. Slows down movement. Yeah, I think outdancing I need to add a second one. Since I have 2 of these, I should have a second one. I'll have to discard something else here. Perfect disguise. Another, you can just cancel attack. Because again, you're going to get attacked a lot. The resistance, my resistance deck is going to have 4 characters, which we'll get into why that is in a second. But pretty nice to be able to cancel attacks with a lot of these cards. Puppet strings, this allows you to just stall a supporting character, which is important because the resistance, that means the resistance can't like protect them and gain importance points. Got rational, I'm going to switch out rational explanation. This just gains infiltration. I have a couple other things that buff infiltration. So I'm going to remove that and I'm going to replace with outdancing so I can stall out supporting characters on resistance again. So I'll swap that in. We got relentless. Let's see. This allows you to move to another adjacent location for a combat pool cost. I've got 2 target acquireds, just +1 to hit, basic accuracy buff. Twist of Fate. This adds importance points to a supporting character. So the idea is, if resistance has a supporting character, and you're in combat, and you think you can kill that supporting character, you play this, the supporting character gains importance, and whenever the Terminator kills a supporting character, they get that importance as, like, victory points. So, this is a pretty strategic card. If you can end up killing one of the supporting characters, you just gain +1. Straight up victory points. And then up close and personal. Target 1 Terminator at the same location as a human character. This allows only 1 attack for the entire turn. And again, since my resistance deck has like 4 main characters, if 3 of them can't really do anything for a turn, that's huge. So yeah, up close and personal. For a common card, great. Does seem pretty neat. Yeah, it's a lot of stall energy as the Terminator. Win-loss states, there's 3. So there's killing your opponent, right? Obviously ends the game. That's the obvious one. There's the importance points victory. So either the resistance protects 10 points worth of characters by taking them to the police station and protecting them, or the Terminator kills 10 points worth of those people. And then the third win condition, which I just ignore because it honestly feels half-assed, are mission points. And just from opening packs, I've noticed there aren't that many mission cards anyway, and you'd have to get 10 mission points. Like, you can't be like, I got some mission points, I got some importance points. Like, you have to get 10 of a certain type. So it just seems weird to bother with mission points. So I don't include missions in my deck, because we didn't honestly get that many. There's like less than 20 missions total anyway in the whole set. So yeah, no, our goal is to either kill the Terminator as resistance. I think the Terminator's best way to win is to kill supporting characters, if I have to imagine, and just stalling out the resistance. But yeah, you'll see as we go through the resistance deck, you'll see how I kind of have this structured. Okay. So, first of all, let me, where is my... This is my condition card we play for the resistance. This is huge. I can't believe we pulled this. I think this was a rare. So this is a condition card. You play this right at the beginning of the game. You straight up add a 4th resistance main character. You would normally have 3, but you straight up just get another one. So, because we're playing that, Torrin, gotta get going. Have a good one. Thanks for being here. Thanks for stopping in. So because of that card, I get 4 main characters. So we got Kyle Reese. Again, I'm hoping one day we pull the rare version, but it hasn't happened yet. Solid supporting character in the starter deck. He's just kind of our all-around, our brave veteran. We got Marcus. He's another marksman. He can attack during the staging round, which is nice. Ranged attack during the staging round. We've got Private Garston. He's my medic. You can rotate him with I do have a first aid kit in this deck. If you have a first aid, he removes every damage token from a character. So full heal with a first aid kit, which is amazing. Hard to argue with that. Then we got Major Jensen. This is my sniper. And I got a really good rare sniper pull. So I had to include a sniper in here. So yeah, those are our main characters. And then our locations. Pawn Shop is our starting location. Tech Noir is where we get Sarah Connor. And she's worth 5 importance. She's like half the game right there. So Tech Noir is incredibly important. Police Station is where we bring our characters. Lock's Storeroom allows me to search for military arms from my draw deck, not just my hand. So that's nice. Staff Lunchroom. You can find the first aid kit in the Staff Lunchroom, which is nice. Dark Alley brings in some characters. Kitchen is an interior distinct location. Big Jeffs allow us to draw our top card from the draw deck. Just add a card to our hand, which is nice. Suburban House allows us to look for Phone Book, which is a crazy important card for the Resistance. Important event card. And then Main Street is required. And then the main way you're going to score as the Resistance is through your characters. So we got Sarah Connor. Like I said, she's incredibly important, as you can imagine from the film. She's got 5 importance. Like I said, that's half the game right there. I've got Peter Silberman. He blocks certain events that the Terminator can play. Like huge ones, like Nightmares, Battle Fatigue. Basically, those are event cards that will stall out the Resistance. And this guy can straight up cancel them. So, and that's part of the reason I didn't put any of those cards in my Terminator deck, because I know they would be useless against this guy. But just having him means like no Terminator is going to want to play him, because they're just going to be wasted. We got Bartender. He gets a shotgun right out of the gate. He's only 1 importance, but dude also appears at Tech Noir. Same with Sarah Connor. So it kind of gives you a double dip there. Investigative Reporter's worth 2 importance points, which is pretty rare for characters in this game. So, and the more points, the better, obviously. So I've got 3 of him. And then we got some police officers. They get to come out with a small arms right out of the gate, so they get like magnums. Got a 44 auto mag for police officer. We got the 50 cal Barrett. This is the sniper I was talking about, rare sniper. 12 damage. Crazy damage. Got the 50 cal Desert Eagle, which will go on our second cop. Got the 12 gauge for our bartender. And then some M16A1s that do 9 damage. And an Uzi for some of our lead characters. And I got 3 armor-piercing rounds. Just straight up adds 1 damage to those guns, which is nice. I only have 2 bulletproof vests. So I'd like more vests in the future, but that's all I got for now. We got our first aid kit. Obviously, self-explanatory. 2 pipe bombs. These are the only 2 pipe bombs I pulled, but they do 10 damage each. The only downside is I don't have a demolitions character, and if you roll a 1, the attack is canceled and your character dies. You blow your own character up. So, really hope you don't roll a nat 1 when you play the pipe bombs, but I'm willing to take the risk. Play a little risky, because I got 4 characters. Not a big deal. And then, not too many event cards in this deck. I really focused on characters and equipment and weapons and ammo. So, few event cards. The ones I did put in here are pretty important. Divine Intervention, straight up, just not, it cancels targets. So you can't get attacked. With the downside of your attacks being less accurate, but if you're in a sticky situation, nice to be able to cancel attacks. Late Breaking Story removes infiltration from a Terminator. I played 2 On Your Feet soldiers because you can ready a rotated character. So you get like a second main move in the same turn, which is nice. Tactical Error removes 2 cards from your opponent's hand. Kind of a troll card. Well Rested allows you to re-roll for your accuracy, your 2-hit roll, which is nice. And then Exertion. This is just damage and hit buff. Extended Magazine allows you to keep ammo that otherwise would get discarded. And since I only have like 3, what were they called? My armor-piercing rounds. Since I only have 3 armor-piercing rounds, if for whatever reason I roll low and it has to get discarded, it saves that. You discard this event instead. Field Dressing, Healing. Heated fighting can be stacked with exertion. So both of these add damage, which is crazy. It's awesome. Phone book, I have 3 of these. These are important. These allow you to pull out supporting characters. Again, the goal of the Resistance, you want to get your supporting characters out, and you want to save them. You want to get them to the police station as quick as possible. And phone book allows you to make sure you can get those characters as fast as you can. Just straight up pull them out of your draw deck, which is nice. Then we got What Will It Be, which I think I'm going to play right at the start of the game, because it allows you to search for 2 items instead of 1. So your first search round, you can be like, okay, I'm going to get my gun, maybe some armor, maybe some ammo. And since I have 4 characters, you can search for equipment on all 4 characters the first round. I'm searching for 8 items in the first round, which is insane. So this card is huge. So yeah, I really put some decent time and effort into thinking about how I wanted the Resistance deck to work. Again, Terminator deck, I put a decent amount of effort into as well. But I think the Resistance deck is looking pretty OP. That's what I'm thinking. So excited to play this. I haven't played it yet. I'm pretty much ready to go. Like I said, I'm going to swap a card out in my Terminator deck. But otherwise, we're pretty good. How does drawing work? There is a search, what is it called? The draw and discard round. So your basic hand size is 5. And I believe toward the end of the turn, there's the draw and discard round. If your hand size is 5, you can't draw at all. Essentially, you draw back up to 5. So you can, like, if you're like, oh man, I have like 3 cards I want to get rid of, you discard 3, you draw 3 more. And I think that's at the end of the turn, if I'm not mistaken. There is a character, a supporting character, Traxler, that I wanted to play in my Resistance deck, but I don't have the location that he gets searched at. So I can't bring him into play because I don't have, I think it's Interrogation Room. But he increases hand size, which would have been cool. A few of these cards have 1 per character limitations. Yeah, I don't remember exactly which ones. Probably some of the rares do. And so I stuck to those on those. But even if they're a rare, chances are I only have 1 of them. So even if I wanted to play them, I probably couldn't. But yeah, those are my decks. That's pretty much it. But yeah, guys, I know short stream tonight. I know really short, but again, I wasn't quite in the mood to play anything tonight. It seemed a little, I don't know, I was feeling a tad low energy. But I'm glad I got to stream anyway and hang out. Go through some of my collection. We're gonna raid somebody. Yeah, have a great night, everybody. Thank you all for being here. It really humbles me that I can go like totally off the cuff and basically do a just chatting stream and like most of you guys will still hang around anyway. Like it really warms my heart, guys. Let's find somebody to raid. I have plenty of options now because I normally don't wrap this soon. It's pretty rare. Still get to see the cool stuff hang around. Yeah. And I figure, like, I don't think the game... Ultimately, I don't feel like the games are... I mean, the games are important, obviously. But... I mean, I stream mostly for the community aspect anyway. So, game or not, you know? Let's raid Dennis. I never get to raid Dennis. He always wraps before I do. He is playing Siphon Filter 3. The PS1 game. He's playing it on PS4, though. So yeah, we're going to raid Dennis. Have a great night, everybody. I may or may not be back again tomorrow. Admittedly, guys, the long hours have been kind of getting to me. My body's, like, starting to say no. We'll see. I can't promise anything tomorrow, but if I'm in the mood, we'll go for it. We'll be back with some games. I won't do another, like, just chatting stream, essentially, but... Oh god, Siphon Filter. I've avoided this series, even though I'm a huge PS1 fan. I've somehow not played any of these. So we're gonna raid Dennis. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you all again for being here. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully y'all have a good one. I'll be back again. If not tomorrow, definitely soon. BRB. What am I saying? BRB. Go say hi to Dennis. It's a great dude. I'm glad I get the opportunity to raid him. Like I said, I barely get the opportunity. Take care, guys.